I'm gonna be hopping back off to spend time with the family. Have a good
Okay.
show.
Okay,
Oh, and by
TK.
the way, I'm seeing you've got 155 people watching you right now.
You kidding me? Stop, man. It's not. It's
That's what I'm.
over. Huh?
That's what I'm seeing on the on Twitch. I could be seeing that wrong. Maybe it's how many viewed some previous thing, but I'm
Holy
looking at a thing
smokes.
that says that.
Okay. Oh boy, no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
Oh
I'm
God.
guessing maybe somebody raided you or something before the stream started out, right? I don't see any indicators of a raid though, but
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah, that's views of the last stream he just
Okay.
did a little earlier today.
oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, like I said, I'm hopping off. Spend time with the family. God
Okay,
bless y'all.
TK. We'll talk, man. Have a good one. Enjoy.
Like I just started. What do you mean 155?
Yeah. No, I was like, huh? What? All right, we're gonna queue up, man, and let's roll with the music. 3, 2, 1.
Are you not using headphones?
Anthems.
Oh, headphones. The music's playing through your mic.
Oh, I have it. Well, I have hand sizers. I think that's.
You have hand sanitizers? What?
No. Yeah, I know, right? Let me get the right name. It's a German name. One second.
Oh, Fist is here.
Hey. Is this the quantum stream?
It's something, all right.
These are Sennheiser's IE40 Pros. They're earplugs. They're wired though. It's convenient because like between my glasses and my earphones, they work. It's terrible.
I'm just curious on why the music sounds like it's playing from your speaker and it's going into your mic and I can hear it.
That's weird.
That's all. I was just curious. Like, was that an intended feature? Is that part of the?
If it doesn't sound right, it's not intended, and that means it doesn't sound right.
Hey, Jimmy, it's the quantum.
Hey, what's going on, man?
All right, is this the quantum show today?
Here we go.
All right.
Hey, Fist, did you check out our mining stream earlier?
Yeah, I was checking you guys out for a little bit.
Oh,
Did y'all blow up? I didn't see the whole thing though. Don't tell me y'all blew up. Did y'all blow up?
No, there was no bull. We made some money. I'd say that.
It was well planned. It was definitely well planned.
Oh, okay. I
And
just
it
want to
was
make sure.
it was just like basically, hey pops, 07.
Hey.
All right. So it was basically the types of vehicles we were using. It was an unorthodox way of going about mining. One second, let's go ahead and
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. Ask them what they thought about it.
yeah.
No, I
Okay.
didn't see the whole stream though.
No, it's
I didn't see the whole stream, so I'm not entirely sure. You know.
Well, I know you guys are miners. So I just was like,
Yeah.
getting into a mining op, and I was like, want to know what y'all thought.
Well, I mean, I would have to go back and look at the whole show because I'll be honest, I saw you guys up until you got to Port Olisar, then I had to help go handle some things with my family. So
Right.
you know, I know I saw you guys, so I would have to look. Like I said again, I would have to look at it and see. But can you tell? Like you can tell me where would you guys go mine? Where first of all, where did you guys go mine, and what did you guys mine?
Go ahead and explain it to him, Kimmy.
okay. One second. Let me cue this up, and we'll be right there. 1 second. Kimmy 65 is live. 0707, what's going on? We are about to get into this thing, man, called the Game Theory Show, a game crafting roundtable, all related to any and all things Star Citizen and the discussion about what's happening, what's going on, what could it be to as far as a game that will be much better, theory crafting basically. So we're gonna just get in there and then figure it out and just say, okay, let's just talk on all things Star Citizen. Nothing left off the table. But earlier we were just a few minutes ago we were having discussion about earlier mission. This was a concoction from Twix. He kind of did the mad scientist thing on this thing and just said, hey, you know what? Let's try this mission as opposed to all three of us going on. It was Chanticleer, it was me, it was Twix, and we said, well, as opposed to the usual standard way of, okay, we get a mole or the three of us will just have prospectors. He said, well, let's try this. Okay, Chanticleer, you will get a Valkyrie. Twix will have the prospector, and I'll use the rock gray cat. Yes, a rock gray cat. My second time ever using it. And Chanticleer also, he spawned a rock gray cat. And oh, FYI, did not know this, but I do know now. With the Valkyrie, you can actually park two rock gray cats into that Valkyrie, and it's fine. And I was like, oh, this is a game breaker. This is cool to know. But yeah, so we went out, and I'm saying to myself, I haven't done this before, or on this kind of thought process of just mixing and matching these vehicles. So it was unorthodox to me. And so I'm saying, okay, this is going to be interesting. Don't know how this is going to work, but work it did, and well, it worked very well. And I was just very excited as to, you know, the money. Okay, it was the money. The money was being made. And with that, Twix, what do you have to add to that successful mission? I mean, because we got some miners in here, it definitely pops in space. Fist to face, that passion of mining is definitely there. But we got a panel here. We got Twix, we got Pops in Space, we have Fist to Face, we have the Admiral Kusanagi as well in the discussion, and we're gonna talk about all things Star Citizen and some of those things. So on that aspect of what we did today, that org set up with mining. So what was your takeaways, Twix?
Well, first of all, we made roughly about, I think, 100K. Without, you know, we we kind of lost our last load, but you know, that was due to some
Oh,
difficulties.
Oh, we were
Uh,
trolled. We were PvP'd, and
Oh,
yeah, yeah, we had lurkers at Port Olisar of all places.
no,
People,
that's not why we
was
lost our
that
load.
Porto?
That did happen, but that's not why we lost our load. We lost our
Wait a minute.
load. It was a button malfunction because
Oh,
froze
yeah,
his binding keys. Some
yeah,
one of the keys he had was bound to his engine key,
yeah.
and he kept losing power, but we couldn't figure out why. And trying to deliver the last load,
That was
he fell
Chanticleer.
off the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah, that's
He's like,
right.
"We're going down."
Oh my
wait. Oh,
God!
so wait a minute. You guys
On the
were
stream. Oh my God, Fist, that was crazy. Go ahead, Fist. What are you gonna say?
so wait. So you guys. Well, so I'm trying to figure out. You guys were landing where though at FPO, and he crashed into the station. Is that what I'm? Is
No,
that
no, no, no,
understanding?
no. It was on the ground because I was in the ship with him, and I'm
The
looking on the
planet
stream.
that
Vigorous
he went down
Medium,
on was
Aired
Daymar.
XY 07, Dark Knight 07.
Hey, DK.
It it was crazy, man, because at the last minute he happened to be just, he was fiddling around, and I believe
Mhm.
it was his setup, his configuration. So chat, everyone, uh, understand your setup because
Well, Timmy,
it could happen to you. Yes, Admiral.
Yeah.
Timmy, I just want to say that's a big problem. And when you're fiddling around, sometimes you lose your load, and you didn't mean to.
Chanticleer
Just
is
happens.
he's in chat right now. he's like, okay.
You guys were in Quantum at Daymar about to sell you though. So
He-
what were you guys going after? Just
Okay.
curious.
Okay. Let me go ahead and break it down
Oh
for you.
yeah, it was crazy.
I could go into the history of how this method came about. I shy away from saying I created it. I know, like, I came up with an idea and I started trying to spread it around, and I think people have started doing it, but not to the level that I really want to make it happen. Like, I feel like people, like, I've talked to some other miners in like the UEMC, and they've kind of like, oh yeah, we've tried it, but I feel a lot of people are still in the mindset of solo mining or mining in the constraints of the game as of a mole, right? Like the game
Right.
provides us with this multi-vessel. That's what we're gonna do. Like nobody's really outside the box. So when we came in and we were talking about mining, I was like, well, do we have a plan or can I propose something
Yeah,
of my
yes,
own?
the proposal. We were like, what? Okay, what's going on? I'm like, what is
I
it?
pulled I pulled like a
Okay.
Keenan and Kel on him. He's like, all right, look, I need you to go get this prospector and we're gonna get a Carrack. And they're like, what? And he's like, no, just listen to me for a minute, okay? It could be any kind of ship that can carry a rock. We're gonna need a rock or maybe two rocks, depending on how you want to do it, and we're gonna assign roles.
Okay.
And you're like, wait a minute. You said a prospector, a Carrack, and you want two rocks. What are we doing?
we looked him square in the eye and we said, "Bitch." That was a Keenan and no, we were just
So,
like, okay, I'm not getting this. I was
So-
trying to figure this out, and we're like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it because this is different.
I feel like I got Fist's
Yeah.
attention. Like he really wants to
So-
know.
Okay, because it sounds like
I'm
somebody
wondering,
was
too.
trying to do ship mining and somebody was trying to do ship mining and somebody was trying to do rock mining. Two people,
Yes.
right?
And it happened.
Okay.
No,
It didn't
he
happen.
he's a little off, like because he doesn't see the full picture yet. Because again, like I was telling you, this is something I've been practicing with the prospector, and it takes patience and skill and
Oh, I
concentration.
admit
Like
it. I was off at the beginning.
nobody
so
can-
Are we still referring to me as all being off, or was it someone else's
oh,
being
no,
off?
no,
of me?
Fist is trying to figure it out.
Oh, yeah,
He wants to know what's going on.
Yeah. Fish is
Yeah,
like,
that's
"Hmm."
exactly what I'm trying to
Very
understand is this
intriguing.
mining operation.
Yeah.
I really got Fist's attention right now, and he's
Yeah.
like, he's itching. He's like, y'all are getting off topic. I want to know
Yeah,
what's
yeah. I'm kind of scrambling up the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to understand. Okay, because like if you're doing, because I mean those are two different sets of rocks that you're mining. You know what I
Chant,
mean?
I mean,
so I'm trying to understand.
See, yeah, he's trying to understand. He doesn't. So that's where the trick is. Okay, so the trick. This is where the.
Can
This
I
is
say
where the.
this real quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Fist, we're on the
Uh-huh.
same page. I had no clue. I'm like, what is he doing here? What is this? So Chanticleer was just like, well, I haven't been in the game for a while, so Yeah, let's do something, right? Because
This
we.
is
It sounds like you're. It sounds like because we all do. I think everyone here does mining. Um,
Yep.
so I think the prospect. I'm not sure because even though I have a Carrack, I don't know how well it scans, but I do know the prospector can scan for small rocks. Perhaps you're
Ah,
flying with two ships, and then when you do find the small rocks, then you have the Carrack land, and then you can mine those rocks because they're pretty valuable, even though they're small nodes and stuff like that.
Admiral's on to
But
something.
again, I'm not sure on the radar how the radar and system of the Carrack works.
Yeah.
Maybe you're using one or the other. I'm not sure.
Am
I on track?
because yeah, I mean,
It-
it sounds like if that's what they're doing, then I mean, you have basically what we did something similar to that
oh,
a while
nice.
back, about a couple, about 3 or 4 months ago in my org, where I had the mole,
Yeah.
had 3 people in it, and what we did was we went out and we did this. We went out and we mined in the mole, me, Pops, and another person, and we mined the rocks, the ship minables. And then we had a whole group of people going out in rocks in the little cars. And
Holy smokes.
what they were doing, they had the Carrack, as well as I believe sometimes some people like to use the Cuddy Red, because they say the Cuddy Red scanners on it are really great.
Wow.
And they'll use that scanner to ping rocks to find the nodes, and they'll let them know, sit down, hey, listen, I got a node over here of 12 for you guys, and they'll pick them up and drop them off over there.
I like
If
that
that's it sounds like, is that what you guys are doing?
I like that we're Minecrafting right now.
I mean, that's what I mean, because it sounds like if
You're
that's what you guys
close. You're close,
Close?
but
Okay.
you're off by just a bit. And Admiral was also pretty close on it. So the operation is we are mining small rocks. Like we're mining Hadanite to be specific. Hadanite, what is it? All the knights.
Yeah.
Aspharite,
Yep.
Delavine, all those. Yes. Actually, the knights are like the best ones. So I learned how to do this a long time ago, back when
Mhm.
the hand minables, before we even had the rock, they used to be on planet side, right? I learned how to mine the hand rocks with the prospector.
Oh, okay.
And the thing is, back in the day, the hand rocks only dropped like maybe 5 or 6, but they were in giant patches. Like I have pictures of just like fields of these rocks, right? And I would have to get out and pick them up.
This is something new to me. Am I the only
Are
one
you
that's
saying it blows up? Like if you use a prospector, it blows up more like
there's 2
mineable
of
rocks?
us?
No.
There's 2
So
of us.
Whoa,
back in
okay,
back in the
somebody
day,
found a glitch here, because
well,
that's if
There's,
that's the case.
there's 3
back
of
in the
us.
day, before the rock came out, it wasn't, no one really thought of doing it. I don't think anybody cared to do it because it was just like, why do it? But it's just me in my mind. I was like, well, there's just these rocks here, while I'm mining
Right.
the other things, why don't I mine these as well? Just the only downside is you have to get out of your prospector to go get them.
Right.
But once they introduced medium-sized rocks for because they took it away for a while. See, it was weird. They had the mineable rocks on the surface and inside the caves, and then they took it away from the surface, and you could only find them in the caves. And then when they brought them back to the surface, they also introduced the rock. And the change is, when the rock minables now, the ones that were on the surface, they drop way more than the ones you can mine with your hand. And in my mind, because it's just something I just did anyway, I was like, well, I'm going to keep breaking them with my prospector. So I got real good at breaking the medium-sized rocks with a prospector. The only downside is there's so many there's so many pieces out there. Like you can fill like 4 or 5 backpacks, make boxes. You'd be out there all day picking those up by hand. So one day
Wow.
I decided to try to grab someone. I'm like, hey, meet me out here with a rock. And they're like, of course, they're like, everybody else, why? What do you mean? Just meet me out here with a rock. And when they came out there, they were trying to mine. I was like, no, don't mine anything. All I need you to
Yes.
do is pick up, okay? And they're like, what? Just pick up behind me. So I would fly out, find the medium size
And I mean, he was
rocks
gone.
to
He
break,
was all over the place.
and I would break them down. And so by time you with the rock come and land and get out of your vehicle, the nodes are pretty much halfway broken down. So you start collecting. And if I broke them all down, I will take off in the prospector and start breaking down more that I find while you clean up and then get back in your ship. So my goal is by time you come back to me where my new location is because you used the GPS marker, I
Diamonds
will have already
everywhere.
broken down more stuff for you. And you just continue the cycle until either you get full or you just need to go back. Because what we were doing after, we were finding like nodes of like 7 rocks like just out there, and so we would break all 7. I was like, go get your money now so we don't hit a 30K. And the first one we had like 40K, the second one we had like 80K, and the third one, only God knows how much we would have got on that one, but we crashed. But it's the efficiency of it. It's like, while you're picking up what I left, I move, and when you get
Yes.
there, it's just, and it's really, I think it's just really quick how you can break it a lot faster with the prospector. It's just you have
Right.
to feather the laser, because the laser on the prospector is way too strong for that rock. So like I'm talking about all the way down, like at 0. You shoot that laser at a rock, it's skyrocketing, like it's going. So you have to like feather it, and then you can pop it. But if you do it too much, like they saw,
Oh yeah, it was fireworks.
like every once in a one, it's just everywhere, and I'm like, oh my bad, I just lost a rock. Or even if it's like, the thing is, even if it's a little over in the red, it's going everywhere.
Yeah.
You have to maintain that green, that little slither of green, to really have it break in that spot.
I
Like
was
if you
too
watch his
close.
previous stream, it was like, oh, I
I
was
was
like an
too-
IED. I was like,
You'll
was
see
that.
it. You'll see me in the rock, and it was swing back side to side from the blast, and it was just that little piece of rock, and it was like whoa, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay back away from the mining laser and let him do his thing. But yeah, it was just it doesn't
But yeah, at
sound like
minimum, you
a
have to have
glitch.
2. No, it's not a glitch.
No. Mm-mm.
It's not.
Nope.
It's been in the game for a long time. Like, and I guess I don't know if a lot of people do it or not, or if they just don't think it's viable. Because the thing is, it is impossible to do that solo, and I think that's why people
Right.
don't really care for it. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the multi-cruise ship stuff is optional. Like people will solo a mole if they have to, but this method, you cannot have. You have to have 2 people at minimum, and 3 people is optimal. But really, I think 2 is best because you split the profits 2 ways. But a third person will allow it to go faster because you have a pilot, you have a rock operator, and you have someone who's scouting. Like, and really, if you have someone who's flying the ship and operating the rock, and then you have the prospector, like again, it may not go as fast, but you get more profit. The more people you put in, the more cuts, but you can still operate a lot quicker.
I'd have to
And
say,
you also have to be careful with breaking too many rocks because it starts to slow the flame rate. But that's another thing.
I have to say that's some well crafted programming. It cannot, to me, it just can't be a coincidence that it so happened that way, and you're able to do that in game. And it's like, wait a minute, this is a first for me. But yeah, we were just going back,
But it's
selling
fun,
this
too.
off, and it was like the amounts were ridiculous, and it's like, wait a minute, this is a game changer right here. But it was an unorthodox way to assemble ships to do a mining op, and it was just like, okay, usually my approach is, oh, you get a mold, you get a number of them, or you get a prospector or a number of them, and you collaborate with those same ship types. But no, this was totally off the books, something different, and it was like, wow, I had no idea that this was capable, and that SIG would program the game to allow you to do that. So what else are they hiding? What else? It just lets you know how in depth that they're going with the code, and what they're doing with this game to allow us to do these things that's unorthodox, outside of the box, and still you're able to achieve the same results as far as, hey, I'm making money doing mining. But when you say that, your expectation is, oh, prospector, mole, and or you have the rocks, you spawn them, and that's it. But not in that combination of ships and how it's done. It's just mind-boggling. But yeah, it was a good time, man. It was a really good yield of making UEC right there. And it was just
Isn't the
Yeah.
isn't the new rock not getting a bigger laser now?
yeah.
Yeah.
We had a little
Yeah.
brief conversation about that. You said
Mhm.
yes, pops.
Yep, it is.
So what
a
should
bigger
that do? I'll say again.
It's a bigger laser than than junior. Senior has a bigger laser.
I mean, it was so much negative feed. Well, I wouldn't say so much. It was enough negative feedback about the Rock, and I think it was some valid information as far as you know the Rock DS, and I guess the acronym is dual seat, but it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of '07 Scuba Steve. It's kind of like that catch-22. It's like, you're gonna down the road you're gonna be mining in a vehicle. We know that, but I'm like, okay, now we're talking about the pyro. We're talking about creatures. You're talking about the elements that's gonna be kind of volatile to your character, exposures, and
Yeah, you
then
don't want to be
creatures. I don't want to be out there, man. And you guys say, oh man, that Rock DS sucks. But I'm like, I don't want to be out there like that. It's like, I gotta
gonna
have the
take
Rock
that thing-
DS.
You're gonna take that thing into a cave, and you
Oh,
don't have
see.
a weapon that's like readily next to you because you have to get out of your seat first. Like, absolutely not.
Oh
Like,
no,
you-
no.
The
Yes.
driver's gonna look over and you'd be a bloody mess. And that's,
Oh
you know,
god. Oh,
there goes another red shirt.
Oh god. and that's the thing. And here's the thing, man. This is opening the door to nightmares. Literally, we can all sit here and say, "Oh, it's a game and it's Star Citizen," but they have this ability to have these freaking creatures look a freaking certain way. That's like, okay, that's coming straight up out of somebody's twisted brain of nightmares, and they're really putting good artwork on it. And it's like, now you're pushing it off on me at night, and I can't tell the difference between reality and imagination.
I heard that they
I'm
okay, so
getting a
they increased they increased the laser, and then they increased the it's funny because I'm watching you on the stream, but there's a lag, so like you're still talking and stuff. It's kind of funny, but anyway, so yeah, so from what I understand, for the new Rock, they kept the stupid seat, they increased the laser,
Yeah.
and they increased the size of the cargo, I think up to 3, so that way you can have 2 people and it won't be like, it'll be greater than just 2 rocks, like regular rocks.
Yes.
But I don't see why
Mm.
they can't put a camera on that arm and then call it a day,
Yeah.
because that would be the
True.
best, I think, solution to what they're. Because if it's so far out and that you can't see it because your stupid front wheels are there, then just put a camera on it. And
Well, the big thing there is why, why put that other seat there? Why should I even? This is the question a lot of people pose, and why they started adding stuff to it. It's just like, I have the Rock. You give me this DS.
Yeah.
Why should I use it? Why should I care about this DS?
Right.
Like, I really enjoyed the like, you could have a hab in your Rock finally instead of being exposed to the elements. That was great. But now I have to carry another person. Why?
Right.
Why do I want to do that?
Yeah.
I
I-
thought it was
I
a great
would-
idea.
I would to
Zephyrus.
me, I would have suggested as they did with the other one. Like,
Mhm.
put the mining head on the top of
Okay.
the vehicle. Now you have a 360 laser. Right.
Mm.
So now you have a 360 laser. It's bigger. You're not exposed.
Yes.
So you don't have to worry, like you just said, somebody looking over to your right and you see them shot up
Oh,
or eaten
God.
or his head eaten
Oh,
off or whatever
God.
by a monster or something like that. Because to be quite honest with you, my nightmare is going to be that money that I'm losing. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
But my nightmare is going to be
Yep.
I'm be spending all this time over here, shooting these rocks. And let's say I got about a cargo full of Hadnite or whatever night that's in there
Yep.
that they may put that might be more expensive and lucrative in there. And man, I done spent 2 hours, and
Oh my God, that's a
here it
nightmare.
comes, to me, that is a nightmare. It's just like those 30Ks for a long
Yeah.
time. Those
Yeah.
were a nightmare for me and Pops.
Oh,
You know,
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
because being in a
Blood, sweat, and
being in
tears.
being in I'm sorry, that ship, the one we got now, one
No.
that everybody uses, the Hall Cargo. Shoot, it's
Yeah.
slipping my
Caterpillar?
mind.
Yeah.
The
Atlas, right?
Caterpillar, right?
The
Caterpillar.
cat. Yep.
So yeah, Cutlass Red. Yeah, right. Okay.
Cutlass
so
red.
so I'm in the Caterpillar, right? And you know, you're making your way, you're making a diamond run from Trams and Myers all the way to Hurston.
Mm.
You know, and first of all, Trams and Myers is not secure. Number one, I've got to worry about a pirate coming up on me and shooting me down. So, all right, I make it out of there. Now I'm on my way to Hurston. I get to Hurston, and the next thing you know, I'm just about there, and boom, 30K. You're like, oh my God. So to me, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, but hopefully that'll be a thing in the past once. Obviously, there should be a thing in the past once the game goes live. But that would be my nightmare, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Mining
it's
is the
'cause it
same way
counts.
now.
having,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mining is
It's
literally the
like,
same way. You get out there for however long you are, you're mining. You try to get on your way back, and bam,
Yeah.
it's
well,
all for nothing.
see, but the thing about with mining, though, mining for me, yes, it is. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying, but it doesn't hurt as much as cargo. Because cargo, see, with mining, you only thing you lose is time and aggravation. With cargo, you lose both time and money.
Yeah, because you
You know,
invested money into your hauling.
yeah,
Dark
because
Knight.
yeah, exactly. Dark Knight, 30Ks are the worst of
Yes.
pirates. Because that's the
Yeah,
silent
that
enemy,
is the
and you
pilot.
never know when it's gonna
Yeah.
come up.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, because something twitches or glitches a little bit, or your frames dip a little bit. Then you're like, oh, no, don't do this to me. No, don't do this to me. No, not right now.
Mm.
Right. See, because
Oh,
like once iCache comes in, and obviously you know all of the tech that comes in, I would feel more secure going back to doing
you'll
cargo.
do that. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like if server drops, okay, boom, and then I could just jump back in, and it picks up right where I left off. You
Exactly.
know, my ship is right where it's at,
Yep.
so I wouldn't have a problem doing it.
Yeah, because your efforts are pretty much saved, and then you just back to where you were. So there's no loss in that context of, hey, I from the start I worked up to this amount, and I have a massive amount, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna take that and parlay that over into other things, whether it's resupply, refuel, whatever the case. That UEC is going to take me to where I need to be as far as doing these other things, So it's like, don't take that away from me, because I got to do it all over again. And I may not get that same result or yield based upon, hey, oh, lucky day, I found this Quantanium or the ites or the Haddonites or whatever. Then you're just, messing around with just junk out there that's not worth any aluminum and all this stuff. And you're like, you don't have that same yield.
Hey, can we theorycraft a little bit on the DS for a moment? Can I give y'all a train of thought?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is my train of thought right now. If you think about the evolution of mining and ship versions, right? If we have you make in comparison to Prospector to the Rock, the Great Cat Rock, the next step up from a Prospector, the only other mining ship we have is the Mole, the
Yes.
multi-crew ship. And so the way I see it with the Great Cat, they're like, okay, well, let's upgrade the Great Cat to be a multi-crew ship.
The DS.
It would have been, I think, a lot.
Yeah.
It would have been cooler or cool
Yeah.
to how the Mole is like a transformer, have the Rock as a transformer. Give us that enclosed space. Even if I'm just wondering how happy people would be if
For both seats.
both the seats were enclosed, except for when you were mining. Let's say you go into mining mode, and how the right and left arms of the Mole, they actually come out of the ship, and then the laser comes out with the person exposed. But whenever you're not mining, the person is no longer
protection.
Right. And the thing is, because the worst thing about being in the Rock is if you're just out there sitting in your Rock, after a while you're getting more dehydrated, your temperature's changing,
back in.
all that stuff. But now you're coming back into that enclosed space, and now you're protected, and you're only exposed to the elements when you're actually doing the mining. And if it's the sake of like you said, with the arm being able to get that 360 degrees, that even works if, let's say, you can't get another person, another co-pilot into that space like behind you. We'll just make it a single person ship, and the only time you can operate the laser is when the main cab transforms out. Like,
That's
can
a
you
great
imagine
idea.
it being like a not like a catapult? What's those things like that? Like a crane?
A
Like
boom,
like
uh,
the
uh,
whole front end
yeah.
elevates out, right? Kind of like how the
extends.
arm, yeah. And now you have the laser, and now you're doing your laser thing, and then you go back in, and now you're in a concealed spot again. Like, if you have to do some kind of movement like that, make it so like you can, when you're in mining mode, you can't drive. When you're in drive mode, you can't mine. But don't make me have to. And the thing is, the seat is all the way on the far right side. Not only do I
Right.
have to get out, I gotta walk around my ship just to get into that second mine seat.
This is
You know,
what
like,
So what Fist was kind of what there was a couple things I was thinking of, and the first thing he was talking about, this the having the arm in the center portion of the vehicle. I don't know if you guys remember JC and the Wheeled Warriors back from the '80s. If you guys are that, probably not that old, but
DC.
there was a
culture.
JC and the Warriors.
Culture.
I'll have to post the
Let me see if I can
the
find that.
video on it or something like
You
that.
said JC and
And-
the Warriors?
And the Wheeled Warriors, yeah. And I don't want to look for it right now, but it's called, yeah, JC and the Wheeled Warriors, and there's an intro for it. And they have like all these vehicles, and they have like diggers and stuff. Everything is kind of centered. And what you was just
Jace.
saying,
It's Jace in the okay,
Jace.
Jace.
well,
queuing it
whatever
up.
his name is.
Is that him?
Okay.
To save the universe,
Let me see.
their minds. Jay searches
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
his father to unite the magic
Hold up,
Oh
I can't
yeah,
see it.
he was kind of like
to victory
oh, what's
over the
that
raging
Greek
forms
guy?
of Sawboss.
Jason the Argonaut. So I thought it was a.
Warriors explode into battle.
Here's. Oh wait a minute. Let me.
Is this a cartoon about mining?
Yeah,
No,
pretty
but see, they
much.
have these vehicles like right there, and they all have these trucks, and they got these like arms, articulated arms on it, and they're all centered, in the show. And what you were just saying about the right side, I'm like, yeah, because if you have a mineable on the left hand side, then
Mhm.
you actually have to move your whole vehicle around to get to it. So to have it centrally located makes way more sense no matter what type of environment you're going into. And again, like you see, even that stupid thing is everything is centrally located, so you can hit left, right, and this thing's got a big giant arm and all that stuff.
That's kind of
So-
cool. Look at that.
Oh, they got power rings. You gotta have power rings.
But yeah,
mean,
it
that
has,
was- Yeah, you can't play that because the music's too good because it's from the '80s. So, damn, this is a good beat. So, so you look at something like that, like exactly, like right there, it's got the claw
Yeah.
on it, and all you need is a mining head. It's on top of the vehicle.
Yeah.
Mind you, the new mine truck has got
But-
the tires in the front are a lot further forward, so you need like a big boom arm, and they should have put the money into like a maybe a double extending boom arm like you'd see on like those not as big, but you know how like if you see those giant cement trucks, like it like so not like the mixer.
hmm
You go to a construction site, this big giant boom arm can go about 3 stories
And
tall,
you just pour
And-
concrete
and it
straight
sucks
down.
it. Yeah, it's a pumper.
Yep.
It's a pumper. It
I've
goes up
seen
in
that.
the arm and it goes down to where they need to go. So
The hopper.
I guess so. Is that
Yeah.
the thing?
Yeah.
Similar to that.
They
Yeah.
call it
Yeah.
hopper.
So you just need something that comes up like that can go out and reach around and like 180 degrees. And I think that would have been way more better. Quote
And
unquote. with
received
maybe a
It
a
makes
kid.
lot
sense.
better as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. People
Like-
would have. They'd be like, "Oh shit, here's an extra."
Give it to me
50 bucks."
now. Like I want this. Like, this kind of came out as like one of those gifts that you
Yeah,
like didn't
You had
ask
to
for. You're
have
like,
it. You had to have
it was
it.
like,
If you-
wait, why
you
are
could
you
just-
giving me this?
If you could just park, say you get like 8 rocks to deal with, and you're in a wheeled vehicle, you don't want to be like backing up and moving forward and backing up and moving
Right.
forward. Break out the meme for that ship that just got stuck in the Suez Canal.
Oh no, the
Um,
Austin Powers one.
Yeah,
Like,
the Austin Powers one too.
Yeah.
So so you just want to park there and then have this arm that can reach all the ones that are near you. So I mean, that would, yeah. So I mean, like going
Yeah.
off of Fist to Face's, center recommendation, maybe you think of that, and I'm like, yeah, that makes way more sense.
In the front and
So-
the back, the two seats are back to back to each other, so you can basically, the pilot just spins around and backs into, or it's verbal instructions say, hey, move forward. If he's piloting in the front, he can turn around and back up closer to the wall or the mineable rock. If they're doing different things, one side will mine, the other will extract. The other side will
Okay, you made me
extract.
think of this, Kemi. What about the DS set up like the seats from the Cutlass Black?
Oh my god!
Yes.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well,
You
you'd
already
have-
have the damn
you'd have the-
seats.
You'd have the boom arm guy higher than the driver, and then he can
Yeah.
see everything a lot better, and then
Yeah.
the driver's just in front of you, and they're all enclosed.
Yes.
Well, what won't the design need to be a little bit different if you're talking about physicality? Because Star Citizen
Hmm.
is very big on realism and physicality on things, because when you start to make that go up, like if this is correctly from my mind and my vision and what you're saying, that
Second
let's
seat
call it
in the
a
back.
co-pilot, that the second person,
Mhm.
gets in there, that operator, and they get in there and it extends up,
So you have an
how
incline of
stable
the-
does that rock now become? Because you have wind in the game now, and you've
But you
got
got
all
six
of that
wheels.
stuff in the
Yeah,
factor.
this thing's pretty wide, but I mean, let's just say it doesn't have to get crazy, but if you can get into
Yeah.
an Aurora and you have to squeeze around the chair to get in that seat, you don't have to go crazy with this like,
Mhm.
two-step system behind the pilot and then squeeze around to get into your seat, because apparently everybody's like, 185 pounds in the future. So
Well,
yeah,
So,
true.
looking at that one picture we're just looking at, I'm thinking, how cool would it be if you look at the Gray Cat model, right? And you enter through the front, like the seat kind of comes down and puts its legs out, you jump in. Like what I'm just trying to find a proper way to
Gray
explain this,
Cat?
but like let's say you're sitting inside the Gray Cat, right? And
Mhm.
then the boom armor is still on the top, but you
Yes.
go into mining mode. It's like I was saying, having instead of you have two different modes, like a fully two different modes. If I'm in mining mode, I can't move. If I'm in driving mode, I can't mine. But let's say I'm sitting in my driving mode, I toggle it to mining mode. My seat then slides back, right? And then
Mhm.
goes up. And now I'm in the mining constraint, like I'm on the top with my mining laser. Because if you look at it right now with the DS, it's on like this little robotic two piston arm. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how that thing is flinging around a person with a mining laser attached to it, but it is. But like if you're kind of based in the middle of the vehicle and now you're shifted up to the top, like kind of like a gun turret, like the new gun turret they have, but then give me more mobility to look around. I'm like, I think that would be perfect. And again, now I'm exposed to the elements because I'm outside, but as soon as I go back into drive mode, it encapsulates me again. Like
I think they
Are you
left a
trying
lot
to
on the
s-
table as far as interaction. As far as that second seat, it could be a thing of like in the prospector, even with the mole. You kind of have to navigate. You gotta operate, but then the scanning aspect, right? Why not? With this DS, why not have the co-pilot integrate the scanning aspect of where the minables are or what's detected, and that it creates this unique interaction of communication between the two people in the ship. So basically, the co-pilot will say, "Hey, I'm like you guys are like, especially if people are passionate and very knowledgeable in regards to the mining. So what's wrong with having the co-pilot?" His functions with the UI is he can actually call out what's being scanned. Hey, that rock right there, and use a laser pointer right there. That's Hadanite. Oh, right there, that's some Quantanium, and point it out or put a halo around it, like when we are, when the rock is ready to
markers.
be. extracted or mining, the gold or purple, but you can use a halo to identify it when you mark it. Oh, 7 Ops, Chief, how you doing tonight? And then from there, the other pilot is then going about, mining and extracting and such. So there's so many ways they could have made that, unique in the way of you interact. That's unlike the prospector and the mole. It would have set itself apart. Yes.
Let me ask you guys a question, because if I remember correctly from listening to the last SC Live, right? That's what they call it. They
Is that
did
Dan
kind of touch
Truffin?
on, yeah, I think they did kind of touch on something. They said something in there about with this vehicle, they're going to be, obviously they had a larger laser head on
Yeah.
it, but they said something about it specifically being able to do something, I believe, in caves, and having an arm, the arm being able to do something.
They were just
other
talking about the laser being able to shoot farther and extract farther because it's
Okay.
stronger. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, 'cause maybe I heard, maybe because it sounded like, maybe because sometimes your mind can, you know, uh, place something, add things to what somebody
Right.
says, and
I
I
hear
just
you.
wanted to make sure that I
Clarity.
understood.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there could certainly be nodes that are kind of stuck in between two big rocks that you can't get to,
Uh-huh.
and they could
Mhm.
make it more difficult where you need that, like an arm like that can reach. But I kind of still think that having a more articulated arm on the center top of that vehicle would make way more
Mhm.
sense than having one off to the side. It's kind of like, it just doesn't make. They were watching Discovery Channel and hog hunting and stuff like that too much, and they came up with that.
Yeah,
The problem
Too much
the
wine.
problem is we don't really care about the arm. Like, I don't think anybody cares about the arm. I think they are more upset about the multi-crew function. And if
Mhm.
you're gonna have a multi-crew, like, what are you adding? Like, it's like, again, back to what I was saying before, like, why do I want this? Like, what makes me want to have this? And that's why they added the expanded SCU, and then like, oh, we're gonna give it a stronger laser. And it's just like, but
Yeah.
does that really make it worth my time? Like, it
Yeah.
looks cool. I think I want it because it's new, but
Yes.
as far as how much do I really want to use it, not very much. Like, it's not like I want to, like when I had a prospector, and how much I really wanted to use a mole,
Yeah.
even though I know it's multi-crew and it's going to be a pain to try to solo it. Like, this is a whole nother level, because ground vehicle gameplay already, it still needs a lot of work. I was talking earlier about how easy is it to get lost on a planet. Like, you spawn your vehicle, you roll off somewhere. Let's say you're not taking a ship. Let's say
Yeah.
you're just driving around in your rock. Once you leave that platform and you start mining and moving around, it's
Yes.
really easy to get lost and then not know how to get back. And there's nothing you can do about it. Like, there's nothing there for you to help you find your way back.
I think
I grew up on reading maps made out of paper. I tend to be okay.
But
That's
know
a
what?
whole nother game.
It's the new generation
But
that
we
have
are
issues
getting
with directions. My
we are
condolences.
getting navigation in game, right?
They are going to.
Yeah.
They were talking about it in a while back with their vehicle gameplay. It's just not there. Like, it's not there like the spaceships are there. Like, if you're in a ship, you can just set waypoints. You can't
right
do that in a vehicle. So, like, it only happened to me one time. I went out there. I'm like, I'm just gonna go out my rock. And actually, one time I wanted to set up an expedition where I had an Ursa rover and a rock, and so the rover driver and the rock driver could like switch out. So, like, you won't overheat. And then, like, when you fill up the rock, make a box, put it inside the rover, like, just for fun. Like, what would it be like if you were just going on a mining escapade? Like, all right, we're just gonna go this direction. We're just gonna drive until we fill up. But the problem is, let's say you fill up, how are we getting out of here? Like, now you're like out in the middle of Daymar or wherever planet, and you're just out there, and now you're filled up and your gameplay is over. How do I extract this without trying to call in an evac? Like, how do I find my way back? Because you can't use your map. You can't just like pull up your map and be like, oh, we're gonna go this direction.
Did you
Well,
guys
you
see
probably
what?
could, but
Did you guys see what J2 put in the chat?
no. What did he put in the chat?
He said, I heard a theory that the Rock dual seat was meant to gather deposits from high places in cave walls and ceilings because
that's what I was speaking on. Right.
Wow, guys.
That's what they said.
the articulating
That's what they
arm.
said. That's what I was trying to understand because
Oh
I
crap,
believe I
that's a
heard
game
that on
changer.
SC
Cherry
on
picker.
SC Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I was trying to figure. I was
Holy
like, they said
Five
smokes.
something about it
places.
being in the cave. Yeah, they said something about
Wow.
it being in a cave,
Yeah.
and they talked about the arm being able to do something more than the other one could do, and I just couldn't remember it.
You know what?
And
Yep.
thank you, J2. That makes sense because I was like, wow, okay.
This
Because
community,
me and my
man.
dad, when we watched it,
Yeah.
SC Live, and we
And you
watched it, and we
guys are
looked,
on it.
yeah,
You guys are
he
on
looked,
it.
yeah, because he said it, and then we looked over at each other. We was like, oh, so that's where they're trying to go with it. Okay, makes
Wow.
sense, you know.
See.
And then like then he just real quick. Then he also made that point to
Mm.
where, you know, having the larger vehicle
Yeah.
then makes sense because you know when the game goes live, you won't have now that ability to just create an infinite amount of
Yeah.
boxes,
Oh my
you know,
God. It just
to
makes
just form on
sense.
your ship
You know
because
the
that's not
wheels?
realistic.
The wheels, the way that the back wheels are expanded out for stability if it's
Hmm.
over uneven terrain inside of a cave, right? So it can press
Right.
closer to the walls, and if it's uneven, it won't turn over as opposed to a rock trying to go in a tilted angle.
Right.
Oh my God, it's making sense
Well, now
now.
this makes, like you said, now that makes sense because now if you said it's up on a wall, but like you said,
Oh
you
crap.
still got to worry about your creatures not killing you too. So you still
Thanks for
exposed though.
reminding me, Fist. I appreciate that so much. Thanks for the
But,
details.
I'm not buying it.
Oh
Like
God.
I'm not buying it.
Dude,
It doesn't make sense to me. Like
okay.
it's just like, oh, you're gonna put these rocks in a high, strange place just to justify
Right.
this
Right.
vehicle. Like what?
Well,
And
when you
then
think
if you
about it
talk
though,
when you're talking about caves, they even said that only a small part of these caves are going to be maneuverable by vehicles. It's not like you're going to be able to really explore this cave with a
Mhm.
vehicle. Like they were saying, like they were even talking about putting in ship minables in the cave, like, but just in the
Right.
interest. Like they're like trying to get a mole into like this little hole just to get the ship minables that are right there. And maybe I want to say maybe down a tunnel, but then the ship minables and the rock and the vehicle minables are completely different. So unless they're planning on changing the way you break down the ship minables to where they're actually like something a tractor beam can actually pull up, because the tractor beam on the ships are fake. Like they're not real. They're not like the tractor beam that are on the rock and soon to be DS, and like now the tractor beam that we have on the um what are those hand tools? The yellow ones? The
Um,
multi-tool?
Multi-tool.
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
So like those actually have tractor beams, but the ship extractor beam is not a real beam. It's just a mechanic they made for mining to get it out there. So I don't know if they're ever gonna evolve that or change that.
It's
Hmm.
I need that canopy in my life.
Um, yesterday when we were doing Soul Citizen, that I would like to see an evolution of the multi tool put let's say on a capital ship,
Okay.
right? Now, if you ever watched the old Star Trek, and there's when
Original.
right, the original, and there was a smaller ship, and the bigger ship was able to grab it. It was
Yeah.
almost like a weapon where it
Tractor
could
beam?
grab and
The
pull.
tractor beam.
Right, a tractor beam. Right, exactly. Where it could grab and pull that other ship. And I think that would be good gameplay if they had
And
capital ship. Let's say you're able to, let's say somebody I don't know, somebody attacks you, and you disable, they're in the smaller ship, obviously, and you're able to, they're not dead. The ship's kind of disabled, and maybe it's trying to get away on its last leg, and you're able to grab it, pull it
yeah.
close to you, capture them.
Mm-hmm.
The person inside, you've got this ship, and maybe you can dismantle it and salvage it and do all this. And this, would be a part of the gameplay, but that other party is in risk of that tractor beam also.
You know what, Pops? That's pretty good because when you look at the tech that's coming online, that what is that? The Argo SRV, that
They
tugboat.
do have small ships that
It's
Right.
have tractor
Yeah.
beams.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
that tugboat is
They're
gonna.
supposed to be able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's gonna probably take 3 or 4 to like tractor beam a capital size ship, but yeah, for a single seat ship or
Mhm.
or kind of like
Mhm.
not so much of a medium sized ship, but it's multi crew. I can
Yeah.
see that possibility coming day one when the tech is in, because they have that lined up to come out in the game. So I don't see that. And to I'm a nerd out to Pops to that
Mhm.
statement about Star Trek. That one episode was the crew ended up getting too close to the sun, and it threw them. It caused their engines or speed of ship to go way beyond warp capabilities, and it ended up in the past. And then they were
Right.
spotted as a UFO by this jet fighter,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
They tracked to beam his ship, and Spock was like, "Captain, we got to let it go, or we got to beam him on board because the tractor beam is literally destroying his ship." And so
Yeah.
they beamed him on board, and then he realized, "Hey, what the hell is this? Hey, you're from the future?" Yeah, yeah. So yeah, true story. It is correct.
Yeah.
He said true story, so that's an actual fact. That's what happened. And
To his
That's right.
statement, he's telling the
It's true.
truth.
Yeah.
Ouch,
I'm trying to
Abby.
look up. Does the Reclaimer have a tractor beam? Is it they're called the
They-
Reclaimer? The big salvage ship? I forget what it's
Oh
called.
my God, you're gonna make me go into the ship Matrix.
I'll have to look that one up.
I'm going into Matrix.
Yeah.
Everybody scramble.
Matrix now. Okay, we're theory crafted
Fudge
here.
store,
We're
quick.
gonna fact find.
Did I get the name right? Is it called the Reclaimer?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the big salvage ship, the big Kahuna.
The one that when you're inside it reminds you of the alien.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, don't let's not. Let's
Don't tell
Come
other
on.
people. Some other people might be.
Hey Kimmy, I got a Reclaimer. You wanna
See-
come check it out?
Okay, you guys are laughing, but see, only you and that creature and that nightmare
huggers.
are gonna talk to you when you wake up in a sweat,
All
and he
right.
say, "Oh, I'm gonna leave Kimmy alone about this."
It has a level 4 salvage arm and 2 level 3 tractor beams.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! So it is pulling scrap.
That's a big ship too.
It's a hell of a big ship.
It's huge. I didn't realize.
So if they're
how
gonna
big-
do that, they can definitely get you a capital ship with a tractor beam if they really
Yeah.
wanted to.
A number of them. Just as you know, Twix, as you came up with that plan, those logistics on how to mine in a so much of an unorthodox way. Can you imagine the piracy people going in and doing things with those kind of ships? But yeah, the Argo SRV. But yeah, I can only imagine what they're
See
going
that
to
with
try.
the Reclaimer. Like, what if you grab someone with a Reclaimer and use the arm and like snatch them and just hold them
No.
down, and then you invade the ship, and then you just start scrapping the whole ship?
Oh my God! See,
You just made me think of something.
we don't want to give them that kind
What
of
about-
idea.
The SRV is a tow truck, right?
Yes, the
Yeah.
the Argo. Here it is. Yep.
So you land, right? You're doing your rock thing. You got the ships
Mhm.
and the other ship. The prospectors looking around. You got the, I don't know, your black. You know, you're not your colorless black. Your Max. You
Okay.
know, driving this thing around and transporting it, and then you're off, picking up rocks, and someone shows up in the SRV and then picks up your Max and just flies off with it.
Oh no. See, this was the whole
Is that a
concept of
thing?
what we
Those
were
are my
talking-
nightmares. Those are my nightmares.
Dude, where's my ship?
Do you
It's
know how much
like-
money I spend on that damn ship?
Exactly.
I'm gonna
What about
kill
if
you.
What about if you rent a ship
Oh,
Right. That's different.
and you don't pay the bill? And they need to come.
Oh, if you rent it, yeah. Oh my God.
you're
Oh,
held with the
Pops,
bill. Like,
these
hey,
are-
when you gonna return that ship?
Oh, these are
It's like
twisted
it would
ideas,
cost more
fellas.
than the actual
Oh
cost of it.
my
They would hit you with like
gosh.
a double fee or something like that.
If that mechanic is in the game where you rent a ship and and you
How do
say,
we?
okay, I'm gonna bring it back in because like if I'm understanding here correctly,
Oh
Pops,
my
if you just
God.
said something
Yeah.
where you saying that like because right now when you rent a ship, you get it for 3 days, and then once that 3 days is it's out of your inventory. But if you're talking about it being physically where like it's in a universe and you rent it like in the real world, I'm taking it here, but if oh my God, oh
All of
And
a
it
man,
gets
sudden,
if you
stolen.
would
It's
just
like you got late fees.
oh
That ship
my
was supposed to be
God,
back 2 days ago, and we're
please.
charging you this much a day
Oh,
for when the ship's
yeah,
not back.
I'm telling you right now, I will not rent a ship in this game. I won't because
Holes
that's
in
a
the
nightmare right
pocket.
there. That's a nightmare right
Well,
there.
I
Holes in the
imagine they'll have
pocket.
insurance. You'll have to pay
Because
for the
well,
insurance. If
yeah,
it happens
that's
to you more
true.
than once, they might
Yeah,
if it happens to you a couple times, they probably won't even let you rent a ship anymore. They'd be
Oh,
like, you
Reputation
can't,
system.
you
guys.
can't. Yeah, your reputation would be like, oh well, you're just like stealing these. And they probably
We
that's
are
rough.
going on the dark side of gaming ideas, man. I mean, like, what
This is your
happened?
Yeah,
fourth Aurora
Holy
LN.
smokes.
What are you doing?
that's that's me paying for something I can't use.
No, this is Chris at night. Oh, that idea. They're gonna ruin me. I was dreaming it was a mob at my house. I had my
and
stuff
to
stolen.
repos your rental.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they put it up on the board, and you say, "Okay, I'm gonna go." You become a repo agent.
Oh my
Oh
god.
wow.
Oh no,
Oh,
Pops.
now we got
What?
repo.
oh shit,
Repo
yeah, they could
man.
have a repo agencies.
Oh no. So
Ooh.
you're being chased.
Ooh,
It's
that
being
is
taken.
bad, bro.
Take that money.
That is because repo men are like hated. They are hated.
That they can forget
watch
that
those
reputation
shows.
system. That reputation is scrapped day one and scrapped the day they finish playing the game. It's dirt. Their reputation is shot. They don't have
You're
a
lower than
chance.
pirates now. Like nobody
did
would
I
have
claim it
it.
right? They're like,
So
no.
let me say this. Could you imagine you have to go repo your friendship?
Oh my gosh.
Like, yo, bro, it's just business.
This is your mission.
He's looking at you like, are you kidding me? Oh, okay.
Oh
Could you
boy.
imagine like repoing like a bunch of pirates?
Oh, good luck
Like,
with that.
we
You
got all the
security
money.
crew.
We stole all that shit, and then like someone like repos their vehicle right then and there.
But you know what? That
No,
has
no,
a
no.
frequency of happening though. They go on the run. Maybe they intended to do a mission and the mission went south, and so they had to keep the ship and go on the run for the moment to try to make the money, and the repo men are after them at the same time.
Not bounty
Fuck
hunters,
J2.
repo man.
Repo.
J2's having a hard
Just
time
read
in his
that,
house right
yeah.
now. So
Oh man. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What's
that's
JT
rough.
talking about?
Oh,
Uh,
JT is really going through some serious stuff.
J2 is yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
that's messed up. All right. Yeah. But yeah,
Oh my
that's I mean, don't get me wrong, repo, I mean,
That could be
is a
anything,
lucrative
right?
business,
Just
but
about,
I
but
mean, that
mainly
is one
ships.
you are going to be if that is because one thing I'm gonna tell you, everybody's gonna probably want to be a repo person because when you think about people are gonna want to take something from you and piss you off.
Oh,
You know
boy.
what I mean?
That
You
dog
know,
does it.
so
And as opposed to having a crew, you automatically, well, there's a possibility that you automatically have, what do you call it? NPCs commissioned to work alongside you. So that's a different dynamic where, as opposed to you have to hire them. Maybe they're part of the organization. So there's no, those extra fees that come with that mission. It's like, hey, you're a repo man. You already preset as an org or as a company, so they accompany you to make sure that you get those goods back. So you basically have a trained squad that will be able to take on these particulars at any given moment. So it's kind of like, yeah, I want to be a repo man because we can put the smack down and take all your stuff easily.
What is this GTA? Like, come on, you got space
I don't know why
GTA. How did we get here?
I don't know, man. This is caves. What? It started with caves.
A dark rabbit hole right now.
Yeah, it's very dark. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna peruse through 3.1 and I'm gonna bring up one of these one of these deliverables, and then we can go from there. And I'll just hear your feedback on what you think about this, guys. I'm going to
Burn it.
say, I guess the elephant in the room is the very next patch. I mean, yeah, we're struggling with 3.313 right now, but it's, as you all know, from 3.0, we've come a long way, and we know the cadence. It's going to be messy. It's going to get better, and then we're going to be ready for the next patch. So that goes to what I'm pointing to is Orison, as you can see right there. Planet the Crusader, design, creation, and implementation of the Crusader gas giant. So very next patch, all tasks relating to the creation of the planet Crusader, including points of interest. This beautiful yet dangerous gas giant is home to the Orson Landing Zone, a picturesque city floating on orbital lattice work. So take it from there. What's expected? How you guys kind of take that? The Planet Crusader.
I'm worried about
Hmm.
PO, to be honest, but that's a different topic.
Yeah.
I know Griff kind of touched on this a little bit last. He asked the question about Crusader, because he talked about the cloud tech a little bit and everything. And to me, I will go back to saying, what kind of clouds, what kind of gas is it?
Dangerous.
Do I
They
have
did
to
say
worry
dangerous,
about?
right? Beautiful
Right.
yet
What kind of
dangerous.
Yeah, because I mean, because when I think of clouds, like you said, now I got to think of like you said, high winds, turbulence,
Ooh, good one. Good one. Yeah.
lightning,
Mhm.
Mm.
static energy and all of that other stuff that can mess around with your ships, MFDs, and navigational systems.
If you get
Obviously,
too
like
low,
right. Well, you're in the cloud,
Yeah.
like because
huh.
when Griff showed the picture yesterday on Souls FNL, he showed the cloud tech from the picture from I think it was the patch notes, or I forget what it was, and we were just discussing on it because when you look at it, those clouds, they're thick. These
Oh,
aren't
they're
just like
very dense.
fluffy clouds that's just paper thin. These are thick clouds.
Like
So
Microsoft
you're
simulator thick.
yeah, because I've never played, but
You see
and
it.
whenever you go through thick clouds, from what I understand, obviously Dark Knight and other aviator pilots out there that can attest to this, there's a lot of turbulence, there's a lot of wind, there's a whole bunch of other things that can come
Yeah.
along with that,
Yeah.
you know. So if CIG going for that realism, now I got to think about it because it's just not just a pretty thing that's in the game, you
Right.
know.
It's not a
There's a
graphic.
tech behind it. Exactly.
What I want to know is with the implementation of this of the Crusader planet and the cloud tech, how is that going to affect the other planets' cloud textures? That's I want when I come in from atmosphere, like, are they going to have a thin layer of clouds like they're using from this planet when they get that functional, or are those like two different things? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
Hmm. Man, I mean, I see what you're saying.
Because like it's like right now it's kind of like just like a thin layer, like it's not like I wouldn't say a pixel, but it's like a thin layer of something that it can be seeming as clouds. Like if you're looking from the top or the bottom, you kind of can see it, but you do see it when you cross through it. It's like a line.
Hmm.
Right. Oh, okay. I understand what you're saying. Right.
But
Actually,
when I'm coming down and from atmosphere or whatever out of space into my atmosphere of the planet, like am I gonna see clouds on that layer?
Well,
And then like
seeing
you were saying with like weather and stuff, like am I gonna be flying in and there's gonna be lightning and I'm like, oh crap, I gotta
there's
avoid this cloud?
possibility. They did say that. They did say that they are working on a weather system. So
Mhm.
yeah.
you will have to think about navigation. Like for example, me and my dad talked about it when they talked about it one SC, where you could be going to Lorville, and let's say you have time sensitive stuff that needs to be delivered to Hurston.
We were talking about that, yeah.
And now or okay, I guess it was us, and then you have to now think about, well, man, all right, well, Lorville's getting pounded by a serious thunderstorm. Do I take that chance to try to land this cargo.
Well, regular ships have
in
to wait,
loiter.
right? Airplanes, you can attest to
Yeah,
that.
they usually do.
They have
Yeah,
to loiter.
they have to wait.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, I don't know if we'll have air traffic control that'll be like that. It's just really up to the player's discretion to
Well,
say, oh, listen,
It's going to be upgraded. It's going to be
yeah, and that's what I
upgraded.
mean. I don't know. 'Cause,
Right.
well,
That's interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
even still, I mean, you know, you got to think
That's
about, hey,
interesting. Yeah.
do I still take that chance and say, listen, I got time sensitive stuff on here, and let's
Oh my
say I
God.
only got about maybe 5 or 10 minutes left on this stuff.
I didn't think of that,
You know.
Fist. But then I was thinking on the lines of fuel being limited and you have X amount of fuel and you said, I don't have time. I have to maybe touch down in this area where a creature could exist, but touch down and wait. I had to throw that in. But yeah, I didn't think of that. The time sensitive cargo
Right.
relates to that and weather, and it affects a lot of things. That's a really strong point in the sense of you didn't expect this, right? This was a curveball. And again, like creatures, that's your nightmare. The loss of UEC. You're like, wait a minute, I just lost because now that time sensitive piece of cargo is trash because now I was allotted a certain amount of time and now I'm behind the 8 ball on this because it's no good. And there goes my reputation system as well along with that. So now people are going to be less inclined to come to me for a job to get done because I took a ding on my 5-star rating.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Can we go thinking about the cloud tech Vader? You probably have to remember that there's space whales.
Yes, Pops. That's a great point. Yep. You remember it.
The clouds to me may be a way of like instead of the space whales being in water, they're in clouds. So now when you get ready to go land and you have to navigate to go land, you have to not only worry about getting through the clouds, but now you have to worry about maybe, I don't know, maybe
Flying into
a couple of whales while you're trying to land.
Yep.
Don't know where the whales will be, but
until they
can't
come
see
out
'em.
of that cloud. Yeah.
it's
And you're like, holy smokes.
I think guys do. They talked about like landing on whales and
Yes.
maybe
yeah.
picking something up off
Gems
of them,
or
but they
artifacts.
but they do like go back down like further, down, and it's the
Yes.
pressure is too high, so your ship will get destroyed.
Yes.
So so maybe they come back up and eat stuff in the clouds. That's a cool idea.
Mhm.
Now, since the Endeavor is supposed to be the toughest ship, so you may be able to use the Endeavor to go down there and maybe find a couple of space whales.
Or
I
artifacts.
think they even said like
Scientific
even like a
artifacts.
Cutlass Black. I think even like a Cutlass Black is supposed to be able to get that low to like where they come up. But
Okay.
like I know that in lore, only the Xeon have, if I'm saying that right, have the technology to go super low on other gas giants.
But
Because I know that the Terrans are like looking into trying to figure out how they do it and they won't give up the technology.
with that game
Good, okay.
mechanic, though, what you were speaking on, Admiral, they did say that you physically have to get out of your ship, scramble to get out there on the surface of that whale, grab whatever that artifact, maybe it's something, a hardened or a crystallized artifact or something, whatever it is that's valuable. You scramble, run, grab it, get into your ship as fast as possible. So it says to me that what you're saying about the ship is one thing, but you as a person being exposed to those elements, even with armor on, there's some kind of danger in regards to being caught out there as this whale is descending into the cloud technology further, that if you get caught outside of your ship and you're at a certain depth of being in that cloud technology, then Twix by Design, thank you for the host. So it's curtains, right? Death of the Spaceman. So it's going to be a lot of that happening when people are looking at, well, these are valuables, and this is my chance to really get above the red line, or I'm behind the eight ball. So this is a way I can make a quick money grab, but at a risk.
I think you just found the whole giant question mark in terms of the rock. I think rock is designed to go on a whale, and the second passenger
Yeah,
outside the
that's
vehicle
true.
is supposed to sing
Oh,
bedtime
see?
lullabies to the whale to,
Oh my
to appease it
gosh.
while you pick stuff up.
Oh my
All
god.
right. Well,
Sing lullabies. I get it. Oh,
Yeah.
it's is he a bard or something?
Itsy whale, ba, 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 ba,
He's got a harp and a flute. Is he
Oh my
Pied
down
Piper?
into the gas giant. It wants to go about up in the
Okay.
clouds. That's where we mine your back.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
Interesting.
can I ask something a little off topic?
Oh, you got it, man.
It's still Star Citizen. It's still Star Citizen though.
Mhm.
Where is my G12? I've been wanting to ask this for a very long time.
Oh,
Like they announced the Origin
Origin?
G12. It's
Yep.
an Origin rover with weapons. It's got
you got one
there's
with
multiple
weapons.
ones.
Yeah, three.
There's three
Racing.
different Origin ones. And I think did they announce this the same time they announced it before the 100i, I think. 100
that's a good
series.
question.
There's a ship called the Taurus, and I think that might be in front of the G12.
Yeah, RSI is next. That's on 314. That's the next ship, which is
Well, the thing
cargo.
is, they said that it was supposed to be coming out like recently. Like I think either 312. Like when did they announced it? It was around the new year, and they were selling it. You could get it. It was during the event, and it was supposed to either come out the last on 12 or 312 or 313. And I have not heard. I'm hearing about all these other new ships and vehicles and stuff. And I'm like, where is this G12? And no one's talking about it, and it's really bothering me. Like, cause I am an Origin fanboy, and I want that vehicle. I have no need for it. And they came out with that new Cyclone. And I'm like, okay,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool.
the
You're gonna give
Cyclone.
me this random Cyclone with all these weapons. I'm cool with that. But where's my Origin G12? Like,
They
where's
still-
that at?
They still won't have the motorcycles yet.
Oh yeah,
those
that's
haven't
going to
come
be.
out.
Yeah, they need that
They
for
don't
Did those
have the,
did those go on sale?
hardcore.
Did those go on sale? Like,
no.
that's
yeah,
what
they
I'm-
had concept sales.
Yeah,
no,
they
I'm
concept
trying to tell you, they were selling these things, and it was
Yeah,
recent.
Yeah,
They still need the
I'm
Ranger
upset.
RCs, right? The Origin. I have the Origin G12, so I bought one too. So they have the Ranger RCs. What else needs to come out?
she said it's coming out with
What
the
are those,
404.
What are those little hover ships that? Right,
The
aren't those
hover ships.
little tiny ones with the, like they cover you up?
The
Those
X1.
Banu?
Yeah, Dark Knight
Yeah,
said
yeah,
the
the
X1.
X1
Yeah.
series. Those have been out for years, dude, and they haven't
Oh,
come
my-
out with those yet.
You guys see in
Those probably
chat?
came out in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think my thing is they were literally just talking about it, and it's just like everyone has forgotten about they were just
Yeah.
talking about it a few months ago, and like, don't let this go away. Like you announced this new model, like it was like, oh, this new
Yeah.
thing, and it came out with something. It was something else going on that was Origin related, and they're like, here's this new ship, and there was all this promotion about it, and everyone was talking about it, and like it's coming out next patch. Just it was almost like the Talon. I don't know if it was around the same time as the Talon, but the Talon kind of overtook it. And it was like, okay, that's cool. We got the Talon, but where's the G12?
Yeah, that was out
Okay.
of nowhere with the Talon. That was not even expected to.
It was a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
No.
I
was gonna
digress.
say, when you finish with the G12, J2 made a good point. If I'm reading this correct, but I don't want to jump off your topic. But he made a good point about the whales. But go ahead, continue on that. I just want to make sure that I want to talk about that.
Oh, no, unless anybody has any comments, I wanted to mention it because I've been thinking about mentioning it for a while, and it was like this is something I wanted to say
Oh, okay.
to possibly like get it out there in the air. Like, does anybody know anything? If you run into any CIG, if you're watching, where is
Mhm.
my G12?
No, I'm
No
looking
one
at it
is
right
talking
here.
about
Hold
it.
on. This is your answer.
It-
So I'm looking at it right here. We talked about the X1. I didn't know who manufactured it.
Origin.
Origin.
Yep.
Right.
You're
That
covered.
thing
It's
was
a
the
covered
Q&A for the X1 came out in October 4th of 2017. That's still not out yet.
Yeah, it's
But the time variant is the thing that's on me right now. It's like that came out in 2017, right? And it's been no one's talking about it. It's been forgotten about. When did they announce the G12? They announced
That'd
the
have been like
G12
maybe November or something.
Chanticleer
a
said it
few.
about 3 years ago.
It wasn't that. It wasn't that
Oh.
many months. It was a few months ago when they announced the G12. Like I said, the G12 was announced around the same time as the Talon.
Hmm.
And it's not that I don't care about the X1 or the fact that, they'll mention something and disappear. I just don't want it. I don't want this to get forgotten. Like, it's still relatively fresh because it just
Yeah.
was announced. So like, I don't want it to become 3-4 years later that, oh yeah, we did talk about it. And like I want this to be an actuality, but like, hey, look, we talked about this, and unless people start talking about it, it will become an X1. It'll be like, oh, remember that
push
one ship we
back.
talked about, like 4 or 5 years ago that we're not talking about anymore. I don't want that. I don't. I
Yeah.
want it to be a thing. Like, I want it to be here. Like, they had the hologram station. I remember just like looking at it like, oh, this is like, I almost put down money. I was like, I want this. Now, but I'm gonna
so
wait.
I'm looking at it. It's a really cool. I mean, even the site they have for it, because it's a well developed site on RSI for it.
The G12.
The G12. It's a really good one.
Yeah,
I'll post
it's a canopy. It's enclosed. But yeah, I'm looking at J2 as well. He's making a good statement about the whales, but I want to
Yeah.
get to him.
Can I post that? Posting it.
Yeah, you.
Might work.
Yeah.
But
So that's
we
a
can
year
go up
ago.
here.
But
So
I
the
do
G12
like-
was a year ago. The Q&A was 11 months ago. So
yeah, it wasn't that long
It's-
ago.
It's getting there.
Yeah.
It's falling
yeah,
back. It's falling
it's
behind.
12 months and 11 months for the Q&A. So
But
I don't think it's on. Is it on that progress tracker at all?
I'm looking
I know
at
they have ships in there. They haven't. They say
Yes.
undisclosed and stuff like that.
and then the new 20 teams that they also added. I mean, I got to do a deep dive on this, but yeah, let me see vehicles. To what Twix was saying though, I did see something on the roadmap, and hopefully this will have him feeling a little better. But keep in mind, when we start looking at, the NPCs and these garages, right? Remember they introduced that, they were talking about that on Inside Star Citizen, where we started seeing the HABs, and the first iteration or tier 0 was the ones that were to be fitted for the NPCs when they start to populate the planet sides, right? And they showed that graphic of the garage, right? A vehicle's got to go in there. A hangar is going to probably be separate of that. So, with that said, they also mentioned that they're going to bring in, the Planet Tech team, they're going to work on procedural done roads. And I'm like, wait a minute, roads? And it makes sense with these towns or homesteads. You're going to have these roads that have, take you to a commissary. You're going to, you're not going to be flying to a commissary if you're coming out of your homestead. You're going to take a car or vehicle, which would make sense. So I think at some point when they we got to get the homesteads established first, be first and foremost. I mean, we're riding the car around, and where are you going to take it? I mean, you want to park it at your place, at your homestead. So I think in the order that they're mentioning, okay, wheel vehicles refactor, with these vehicles, I think there's certain things that have to take place first. And roads was it the infrastructure. They were talking about rivers now. I mean, even though they did an Inside Star Citizen quite some time ago, maybe a month or two ago, a river runs through it, and they showed the basins and everything, which makes sense. And now they're talking about, along with that, they're working on that. They're going to bring in the actual established roads, which will then townships, small villages, and then those vehicles. I mean, after the homesteads, the natural order to that would be the vehicle. So I think that's encouraging overall when you're talking about having the infrastructure set up for these vehicles. And then you're looking at the fact that look how and here's another encouraging thing, even though you didn't get it, or we didn't get that particular vehicle, the encouraging thing was how quickly did they come out with that we were just talking about it, the the green Jeep. I call it the green Jeep.
Oh my gosh.
How quickly did they come out with that?
But you can't say how quickly because we didn't even know it was coming out until it was just like, oh,
Oh,
hey, here you go.
yeah.
True.
You know, you don't know
Yeah.
how long they were working on that thing.
Well, that's
And it's a
true.
variant too. It's
Yeah.
a variant of the cycle. And like this G12 is
Yeah.
one of it's a first of its kind.
Yeah, because it allows you. It has a turret and missiles with it. It has both. Yeah, it was making me consider to upgrade one of mine and said okay, but I think
Yeah, I
with the
bought two.
progression of what they're setting in and what they're establishing, I think that's going to be the next natural progression once we get the homesteads. I think once we have those homesteads, I think we'll be like, okay, this is great. And you're going to get the proper pushback to say, wait a minute, I don't need to go down to the commissary and fly down in a Valkyrie. I'd rather drive a vehicle. And oh, by the way, Sig, you're giving me this loaner vehicle. I want my regular vehicle to use for daily use in that matter. And when you're talking about revamping, and then you're talking about the planetary tech team getting accustomed to what they're doing, I'm kind of like seeing, for some reason, I keep thinking about ArcCorp, about the potential that it has once it's really and fully realized. When you talk about you rescape it, and then you have that city dwelling, you have the actual roads working, not the little ships that's flying on the little roadway while you're on your trolley train going to your space station, but real roads with people driving, people walking on sidewalks. As long as we don't act foolish and try to run people over like Grand Theft Auto, but yeah, maybe have turrets as opposed to attached to lampposts to take them out.
Or real consequences, like you run
Yeah.
over NPCs, like you're getting crime stat. Like
Yes.
I don't care they're MCTs, you're killing people.
Yeah.
You're committing, what's it, homicide, vehicular homicide.
But I think we're seeing that natural progression towards life on the planet surfaces and the homesteads. I think Chris really wants this because of the fact that he's been watching Mandalorian, and that in that context of that gameplay, you have to have these towns, you have to have these villages and places in order to make bounty hunting really successful on the level of what we have with currently mining. I think he's really passionate about that to the extent because we're seeing so much, so many updates around that would fit that mechanic of bounty hunting, being able to allow the criminality elements to exist, live in one place, go to another, and expand out. So then you have not just this one target you're looking for, but then once we expand to like 3 or 4 systems, which is not too far fetched right now, because we're finishing. Well, wait a minute, we finish Stanton next month or the next 3 quarters. Once we get 313 out of Sig's hands and into ours, they are all in on 314, the Orson and Stanton area. And so right there, along the roadmaps, we have in the next few months, we have Nyx is coming back. A much better version of Nyx is going to come back. And that's a system all itself. Uh-oh, somebody said, whoa.
What do you mean in the next few months?
Okay.
Nyx?
Yeah. I
Next
know,
few months after.
Yeah, look,
after
Nyx 1.
13.
You're talking about they have to release Pyro though.
Look at this. I'm gonna bring up the
I'm
roadmap.
not looking. My eyes are closed. You're gonna have to describe it to me in with the soft British accent.
All right, here we are, mate.
That's like Australian.
Hey man, it's European. It's European. All right, mate. In 13 weeks, we're looking at all tasks related to the implementation of Nyx 1, a coreless planet that was abandoned after being
Wow.
That's actually strangely
mind-claimed.
well.
Includes
Pause for a minute. Okay, Kimmy. Wait a
He's
minute.
How
not
did you go full Australian right now?
What?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got
it-
Well,
Crocodile Dundee in his mind.
No, that's a
'Cause I'm blown
knife.
away.
Well, see right here, 13 weeks, guys, for Nyx
How did you do
1.
that?
I don't know. Admiral got me inspired. Look,
I am.
towards the end of June, there's Nyx 1. It's right behind me, guys. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Wow.
Are you guys
Okay,
wearing
next
glasses?
one is done in
Yeah, I see what
July
you did.
1st.
Mm.
Yeah, Admiral, you are usually on this, man. I'm shocked.
I see it right there. Next one, and by July 1st.
Yeah,
I'm
that-
tracking.
so here, no,
How many? Okay, that's one planet, but you're saying like it's ready to be done. What is that? I gotta look up the damn star map. Hold on.
Nix isn't going to be one planet. It's a system, right?
it's a system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Mhm.
how big. I don't think it's that big though, but still.
That's where Delamar is going, right?
Yes, sir. And that's the.
I mean, what am I doing? Why don't you open up the star map? You got the stream. Pull up Nix.
Yeah.
The
I
hell
have
am I
it
doing?
open. Okay. All right. I'm gonna open up the star map. But yeah, it's one of those things where we're closer to 5 systems within the next year or so. We're gonna be at almost to 5 systems because Nix is its own system. Pyro, then Stanton, and then there's going to be this unnamed system, this surprise system that's going to be added. So there's 4, and then you're talking about the turbulent team, the planetary tech team getting on board with the tools and how the game works in Star Citizen. So they're going to ramp up to 100 people. So when you break down those teams according to how many needed to create a system, and again, I can't say this enough.
That's it right
Chris,
there.
Yep.
I posted it.
Okay. Awesome. Oh, send it to me directly. My bot, man, is so screwed up. That.
Yeah, I can report. Oh, you have it right there. Okay.
All right. So I'll just type in Nix.
How come you
Which
don't
is-
introduce the star map? I feel like that would be a thing that Sig could give you.
Yeah, I do. I don't do it often, but I need to do it more though. But
You'd be like you could be like the person welcoming everyone, all the citizens to the star map.
I've
This
done
is
I've done a
Kimmy.
couple of
Welcome
streams
to
with
the
it.
star map.
But there you go, guys. Delamar. That was the
So pull us out a bit.
okay. You see it
Is
right
that-
there. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Back out. Back out.
Do we have any more around it? Okay, we got a
but
belt.
systems. Oh yeah.
I'm just looking at planets here.
I
So
think we got 1, 2, 3 belts. So it's relatively not a lot there. And you have the jump points, which
Ooh,
is
it's right there,
pyro.
too.
Say again, Admiral.
I was just saying, there's a planet on the left side there. What was that Nix
You have
3?
you have
Okay, so
birds.
there's 3 planets plus moons and a
Yeah.
crap ton of jump points.
Yeah, they got a lot of jump points. Castro, which
Virgil,
is,
if I'm not mistaken, isn't that a Van Duel system?
okay. Let's see. Virgil. Oh well, wasn't that a part of the attack in Squadron 42? Virgil was one of the places
Might
that
be.
was attacked. That's
You can jump in it if you
Yep.
want to try that. I don't know if people know that you can actually select a jump point and it'll bring you through it.
UEE military classified. Yeah.
Are we going to
Something.
talk about J2 space whales?
Yeah,
Okay.
he made an
We
interesting
talked about
point.
space fields.
He said that
He made a good point. Yeah.
the scales you can basically mine for the loose scales. Take enough, you get enough of them, they can be crafted into a suit that helps to resist pressure. That was
Really?
really interesting. I did not see
That's
that one.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was
Okay, whoa,
theory
whoa, whoa.
crafting more because
You're
that makes
talking about
Well,
Go
we know
ahead.
the space crabs. You will be able to do
Yeah.
that in Pyro. We know that. Jay Lee
how
did
do
it.
you make this suit? Is it? It's a space suit?
Yes, it would have to
like
be
you make
crafted.
armor.
Okay, so you're talking about creating armor now and clothes and like manufacturing stuff that you could
Yeah.
probably sell.
Well, yeah, you would
Mhm.
have to turn the material over to maybe a craftsman or someone who does textiles or to some degree where they can engineer or craft it, and then you have a suit made of that material that will resist certain pressures, especially like
Maybe.
that of that nature.
Maybe the Endeavor, because
Yep.
when you think about the Endeavor, there is, if I remember correctly, right, Pops, there is I know there's a part where the Endeavor can be a research lab,
Hmm.
but as well as you can soup things up.
Yeah.
I think it's called the Super Collider or something like that.
Yes. That collider is going to be
So
huge.
that collider, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta. I'm just thinking, just kind of throwing it out there. If you can craft armor as well as soup up,
I like that. Taking those
engines and components,
materials.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's the thing. I'm gonna kind of throw in there what I doubt that is being his game, but hopefully there isn't. I hope there's no RNG in that. When you're crafting armor.
RNG.
Yeah,
Random number generator.
yeah.
Oh, nice.
Where like okay, for example, like in most MMOs, whenever you craft armor, right,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get you get stats from that armor, strength, dexterity, whatever ability, power, man, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And when you craft it, it will give you like that RNG would come in and it would give you a random number to those stats. And people would always try to craft the best gear so they can put it up
Yes.
on the market.
Yes. At a
But
high
in CIG,
premium.
you don't have stats like strength, dexterity. You just because all you're doing is shooting. Like maybe there's an RNG as far as the quality of that
Yes.
armor,
Yep.
how much pressure it can take.
Yeah. Like our components, like the military graded components, right?
Exactly.
Yep.
Military grade component stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. Is there going to be that factor in the game?
Well, you look at the
you say that.
overlords. What kind of armor do they have?
Yeah. There you go. Dark Knight, RNGesus. Pray to RNGesus.
And you say like you bring up a good point because most MMOs have at like yes anyone can go from one career to another career in Star Citizen, but I kind of feel like I feel like there should be like some type of master's course. Like if you want to be better sniper, you could take like online classes that take like a week to figure out and then like multiple choice or whatever and random stuff, and then it gives you like an extra kind of bonus on like I don't know your breathing or something like that.
You make me think of this, Admiral.
Okay.
When you say that, I immediately it's easy for me to think of mining, right, and look at what the Gray Cat Rock is to what the Orion will be, and all those things in the middle of that. And so I come over to okay, where does that fit with what Admiral was saying? Because that's evident that that's a skill set or it's an applied science that will lead to a skill set. And I said, well, I think that will fall under a guild, not where okay, it's just saying you're in the guild and that's it. There's hierarchies within the guild, right? Should it naturally be that way? That it will be conducive of, okay, I'm really into this skill set. I'm a part of this guild. I'm going through this maturation of what it takes to be a part of this guild and learning these skill sets. Now, there's challenging things and there's things that's going to be revealed to me based upon maybe the reputation system and based upon my level of mission completions and that in that expertise of context. Then it opens up those doors to like kind of like what like Chris said with Squadron 42, you go through it and it's at a certain level skill set or high skill set, and you go through Squadron 42. They want to gift you the F8 Lightning. They want to then, after Squadron 42, allow you to be called upon to do these special ops type of missions. So in that context of what you're saying, Admiral, I think there's a place for that. But right now, I don't know where it is other than the guild that's tailored to your career or skill set. I don't know of any other place unless it's some kind of expert or mission giver that then it's like that, like TIE Fighter. Remember when TIE Fighter, you did these missions and then all of a sudden you had the higher pieces that were connected to the Dark Force will pull you over to the side and have you do these dark missions. I don't know but yeah, I think that opens the door. Yep, that opens the door for that.
So, off of my comment in what you're saying, I'm kind of processing other stuff here. So I say, I know SE wants things to be learned over time, but why not learning it by some type of schooling or certification, and then you know how like they give us badges by doing these mini games on the websites from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have like a mission, and then you get like a badge.
Yep.
Well, how do I? Wouldn't it be better if I could get like a new player who's, I guess, who's like used this UI interface to like learn mining before I throw them in a miner? Like you could actually get in like a simulator,
Yeah.
get a certification for it. Maybe a simulator like the Microtech has those little pod things,
Exactly.
you know, and they're supposed to be simulators.
You mean like a game inside a game?
Yeah. So
Oh, you
so
so
make it a
wrong.
game inside of a game where they get
Yeah.
certified.
Yeah.
And then they can come and say, "Hey, I have my level 2 certification. Can I jump in your org?"
Mm.
That would be,
Well, yeah.
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Have those modules with, and I think, wow, man, you're on to something, because I wanted to say this, and then I'm gonna let you guys have it. What you're saying, and with what the community has done with the organizations and how they have established these organizations, it's, and I'm not gonna say it's nothing for SIG to do, because it's not. They're not gonna just go easily throw something together. They're going to go deep with it. And it's, so I'm not going to say it's easy for them to do this, but it's something that, you know, SIG can actually look at this organization, certify them, and say, here are your training modules based upon these set or these preset skills or careers that your organization is built upon. And everyone has it across the board default, but still it's a template that they will give you, such as a tutorial for your org to say, okay, we have newcomers on, have them do this, and then they see what the proficiency is. They'll simulate that. Like, for example, in mining, they'll go to mine rocks and they're using the default weapons. Then you look at their proficiencies of how do they connect components together to get the best advantages of that. And they'll play that scenario out. Or maybe you'll have mission givers within that module to say, you're challenged with this, and I want a yield of this, and you have this X amount of time to give me that yield. Just throwing it out there. I mean, that would be something E-I-N-E-N-C. So, some people coughing orgs. Orgs are
No
popping
comment, no
up.
comment. I didn't say anything. I was just having
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, as we go through and as we mature with these organizations, I think that would be cool for SIG to, you know, especially with onboarding with new players as well, and they become enamored to certain organizations. Say, hey, I like this crew. They can do this. They do that. It's kind of up my alley on what I do. And then, as opposed to just saying, hey, come on in, it's like, okay, we want you acclimated, because at the end of the day, it's all about death of the spaceman, right? It's all about the bottom line. Let's make it happen.
What's that? J2, jump in chat. I think you're bringing up some good points here. And
I gave him an invite, and he's just like, I can't. I got some things. He's like,
He's got a lot of things going
yeah,
on.
he's got a lot of things going on, but he can't break away. He's hitting us with these paragraphs. Oh my God! He said, "I know SC says they want things to be learned over time, but why not? But why not learning by some type of schooling or certification?"
Oh,
they
that's
had
what I
that
said.
before, guys.
Right.
The flight school. I loved it. Remember the flight school?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talking about J2. He's talking about his way he trains people in his org, and I kind of.
Yeah, that's just-
J2 says he's coming.
Here we go.
Oh,
yeah,
he's trouble.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm in
I mean,
trouble.
you do need to train in if
Yeah.
we're talking about this, you do need to train, because when you sit down and you think about it, in this game, you know, you're training yourself to do that job. You know,
True.
you're not like it.
Yes. On the job training. 07 J2.
Right, you're training.
Uh-oh.
Hey, J2. So you're not just you know, let me put a piece of armor onto my character and I automatically level up to CR 86 or whatever. You
Roll
know
them
what I mean?
sleeves up. Roll them
Like you
sleeves
have
up.
to. That's why I was saying to you guys, I was kind of picking fun at you, Kimmy, and Twix. You know,
What else
that's
is
when you
new?
guys went out mine, and I was like, man, all right, you know, I want to see how, you know,
Yeah.
you know, be good out there. I want to
Yeah.
see no rocks blowing up or because you gotta be on your A game.
Yeah.
Especially when uh like I said when you're into like the Orion
Dude, I'm
or
right there. I'm reading your mind. I'm literally reading
you
your
know
mind.
That's
like
scary.
when I spoke, like when Griff explained to me, he said, "Hey man, you're gonna need to really be on your A game with this shit because
I don't want to
there's
go
four
nowhere near it.
there's four different operations within that ship alone,
Yes.
from the person who's I think spotting the material to your laser operator to your detonator, and
Mm-mm.
I believe there's a fourth one if I'm not sure. All of those jobs need to be in sync, and every person needs to be able to do
Yeah.
that job to the max,
Oh,
to the best of their ability.
I had a moment with Kimmy. I was telling him, I was like, look, I don't care. Like, this rock will not break. Like, I think I only had 2 rocks pop, but like I was like, this is unacceptable. Like, out
Oh
of
my
what, like
God.
the
Yeah.
20 that I popped, two
Yeah.
was I let him have it. It was like, no. He's like, I had to put you guys to work a little bit, but that's unacceptable for my skill level. I don't need to be like
Yeah.
throwing rocks all over
It,
the place. Like,
I think casual gaming in regards to mining, it ends at the mold. That's where it ends. I think, and
Yeah.
SIG is they are slowly holding us by the hand, and now all of a sudden that tether is getting looser and looser, and it says, "Okay, you've came up to this point, and now you know what
Hmm.
this is about." Now, this is the big boys game. When you're talking about this Orion, if it's not your skill set, just sit
mm,
back and
just
watch.
stay out of it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's one of those
Just
things that you're going to have to dedicate your time to doing.
Right. I
You know,
don't
it's
have.
not gonna be like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just gonna, pick up this
Yeah.
thing and oh, what does this do? Because
Mm-mm.
especially like you said,
Mm-mm.
like we spoke about what was it, the last okay. Yeah, I see you on the yeah. So especially like what was it, one of the last Soul shows what they talked about, you know, I think it was last Sunday where they talked about, when your ship blows up or something like that, how long is it going to take
Yeah. 3 days
for
was
you to
just
get your ship
ridiculous.
back?
A week. I'm like,
You know,
no.
I mean, but
Nuh-uh.
you got to think
That
about it
ain't
though, because I
happening.
mean, if Chris and them,
month.
if the way they're thinking
Hmm.
is okay, these ships are not meant to be taken and blown up, right?
No, not at
These ships
all.
are meant to be shot down, disable the engines,
Yeah.
and be boarded,
Right.
and taken over. So then, okay, then 2 weeks kind of starts to make sense because if, like, for example, if you blow it up,
That's a different
you know what I
story
mean?
altogether. Yeah. I shouldn't have been on
You
that
know,
ship.
how long does it take for you to get your car out the shop in real life?
Mm.
Depending upon
Yeah.
if you blow it up, if you,
Yeah.
You blow your car up, it's gonna take a little while.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
eh, go ahead. What are you saying?
Nah, I'm blowing up your car, getting it back.
But I'm just saying, I'm just kind of throwing that out there. I know
Well,
you can't never.
that's what SC is doing. They're like, SC says that. Well, I think the idea was that if Honda had to replace your, you had a Honda Accord and
Yeah.
your car got destroyed, it got flooded or whatever, then
Mhm.
Oh, seven Mad
then
Styles.
how quick could Honda replace that car? Or in this case, in that case, it'd be how quickly could you get the insurance check? But there
Right.
would be a car you can just go pick up. If you have an M2 or something like that, like where are you gonna find a car, a parking lot full of M2s? More than likely,
Right.
they're gonna be a line where you in the slot. Do they have any M2s in production that are already bought? So so that's where that time frame comes into play. And then also like say you're like halfway across the system, halfway across the solar system, and your M2 is way over, here in Crusader.
Oh,
Well,
yes. Logistics.
then you have to figure out how it's going to get you there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that time frame comes into play, and that's what kind of like people are thinking about, like how long should it really take, and like there should be how long does it take to a Gladius? Well, if they think about automation and stuff like that, it might even take a day to do a Gladius if computers and robots are doing it,
Yeah.
maybe less than that. So I wouldn't see a ship like that taking a long time. A big ship like a Carrack and beyond, I think you're looking at some time.
Mm. It concerns me though.
Right.
It does, because it's not to say that you guys are wrong, and that's giving me nightmares, because it could very well play out that way in that instance of not just that particular thing, but it's a ripple effect of a lot of things that would happen like that. And in that regard, your insurance premiums would go up immediately. Your reputation system will hit a hard stat. The mission givers will have you crawl back from the bottom and hit, as you try to get back to the top of those very lucrative, complex, high level missions. And so it's
LTI,
a grind.
LTI.
I know, Admiral, and I get that, but to what you guys say, which really worries and concerns me, is that it could be, and I hope that in this context that these specialized ships, and I mean it, specialized ships, it would take a very skilled organization and a heavy volume of these entities to take down this particular ship. But when it goes down, I mean, everything around it is affected in that instance of even the economy would be felt to the economy, because the economy was maybe using or relying on the endeavor for these pharmaceuticals, because now the Orion, this skill set was providing this quantanium at a level or rate that it kept the economy balanced. And that's the other part of it, is that when these kind of ships are taken off the grid per se, or out of quanta or quantum system, that ripple effect will then say, where the hell am I going to get this feed of quantanium from? Because Pops and Fists were really digging in and giving us that equity, that economy. It was a shot in the vein that was like, this quantanium, I don't know how the hell they're doing it, but they are giving us a steady flow of quantanium that's has a positive effect on everything in that system. And all of a sudden they're taking off grid, and they're like, who the hell did this? I'm coming in there, I'm gonna cut their heads off.
Well, also,
You did it.
I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
Go for it.
That also, it's going to damage one part of the economy, but it's also going to stimulate other parts of the economy. Like, you remember that scene in The Fifth Element where the dude knocked the glass off the desk and then all the little robots came to clean it up?
Yes.
So you blow up a huge ship in a
Gary
system that
Oldman.
was, particularly one that was doing a major, was lucrative for the system, delivering all that quantanium. Now all of a sudden that ship's gone.
Yeah.
That ship's got to then be rebuilt. And when we were just talking about the insurance stuff, what if the insurance system goes so far as to say, okay, well, we need that new ship to be built, before you can get it back, it's going to be built in this system, and they don't have the resources, so your insurance claim is
Ooh.
going to take that much longer.
Mm.
07
but
J2
now-
on that one.
The Quanta system also says, well, this shipyard is now in need of all these wonderful materials. Let's start generating missions to bring those materials to this shipyard.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Many fucking layers.
Oh
if
my
you
God.
take
hurts.
a Hull D, if you take like a attack like an NPC org, and their primary responsibility is like Hull D, Hull Cs, and they just supply like these planets, and you destroy their ships, and then all these orders are going to be coming in like, holy crap, like we need like toilet paper and eggs and milk and all this other stuff,
Seashells.
face masks, and
Oh my
Face
God.
masks.
That's
Well,
a
like you
freaking
said,
nightmare, Fist.
face mask, because now you got to think about too. You kind of touch on something a little bit before I get out of here. They did say that there will be diseases in this game.
Oh no.
Now that we're actually
that
within
could
a
be fun.
pandemic. We're in a pandemic right now, and you
Right.
look at the crisis that happened with the N95 masks. here in the
supplies.
state.
So you have to stay out of that system,
Abso-fucking-lutely.
or maybe
You look at that,
wherever it
You can make a fortune though if you have
Yeah.
a hull. If you have a hull and
sending
they
those
need that
supplies.
stuff,
Yeah.
then that supply is gonna be worth a lot. That means pirates are gonna be in there
Pirates are
looking to
gonna be
take
on it.
that stuff over.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if the
Yep.
if the UEE decides it's bad enough that they actually need to quarantine that system and start blocking off the jump gates, now you got smugglers coming in,
Oh,
guys that are going to be able to find, explorers looking for other jump gates that may lead to that system, uncharted wormholes. See, everything
Oh my
layers together,
God.
man. It's like a whole system of gears. It's like a
Yeah.
watch.
Yes.
oh,
Yeah. A well-timed watch. And if
oh,
things
man.
get out of sync, things really go out of sync.
Yeah.
But they have
Yep.
backups for backups, you know?
Right. And that could be NPCs, but how efficient will they be? Because they're going to
Yeah.
suffer as
Yep.
well. They're going to have to
Exactly.
figure it out. Yeah.
They'll do the 90%, but we're going to have to take it that last 10.
Those gaps.
That's true.
Yeah. There's going to
Mhm.
be gaps in it.
And Tony Z is going to make it happen.
Jeez, man.
That's his little brainchild, the
Yeah.
quantum system.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could see if you became the president, you would hire Tony Z to be like the Fed chair of the economy,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes. It'd be the
and then
Greenspan.
you have like, this is what we're gonna do.
Tony, do we have it in the budget? Can we make it happen, Tony? Oh my God. No. I don't want Graves, man. I mean, it's just how we're going to be affected, how we interact with each other. That economy system is going to say a lot of things. It's going to echo to us where we need to go, what we need to do. And then from that, it's always a shifting, always a changing of that balance. Once something is supplied and they have enough, you're going to have to find it and find that need elsewhere. And then you're going to have those certain locations where things just go south based upon necessity. And then you have to catch up and feel that ripple effect of what's going on. But yeah, those main artery ships, the heartbeats of what makes the PU go, it has to be a system that, smart organizations will understand it, because some of them will be the sole some of them could be the sole beneficiaries or a close indirect beneficiary of what those ships provide to the PU. So with that said, the smart orgs will do any and everything they can to protect those assets in game. And if it's something that's major that takes them down, whether it's that, again, as you guys said, that 90% of the NPCs that could culminate as a force to, upset things. Again, within that 90%, it's not just the pirates. It's more than likely it will be the Vandals themselves as a force of nature, because they have set territory still established in the PU. And this is why we're getting Squadron 42 to see what happens post-war of Squadron 42 and what that landscape will mean to the persistent universe. We don't know at the end of when it's said and done, we don't know if they will own 3/4 of the persistent universe, right? It's not a given to say, oh, we triumphed. And the way that they're turning things upside down for us, that's a common script. What if Chris decides to put us on the short end of the stick and said, we're an empire that's struggling and trying to fight back, where piracy proliferates and the Vandal are pretty much taking advantage of the persistent universe. So we have to dig in deep, because we weren't the winners of Squadron 42. We're now, it's a guerrilla warfare right now. We're barely holding our own. Who's to say that we're going to be the heroes?
Absolutely. In a lot of situations, I don't think we will be. I think there's going to be a lot of gray areas in there. But one thing I also think is that it's not gonna be just about, say, like humans and vandals and or players and NPCs. The dividing lines are not gonna be that cut and dry or that blatant. It's gonna come down to the individual roles each one of those NPCs or players or
Yeah.
aliens is actually doing. Because I'll tell you right now, and listen, I'm making my prediction, my hypothesis, whatever you want to make of it. But the biggest and most dominant game loop in Star Citizen, when as a finished game, it's not going to be combat. It's not going to be mining. It's going to be logistics, getting things from place to
Mm,
place,
the meta,
getting people the things they need. That's going to be where that's going to be the heart of gameplay in
the
Star
meta,
Citizen. Yep.
the meta.
Mhm.
And not to say the
You
hero.
Logistics.
Who's to say
Yeah.
that we're going to be victorious after Squadron 42? I want to. That's what I wanted to say. No, none of us are heroes. It's layers of gray. Chris alluded to that, and you spot on, J2. Who's to say that? Who's saying that we're going to be victorious after Squadron 42? You know, maybe we just hold enough just to hold them back. And the persistent universe is, can you overcome them, or can you, or will you fail based upon what the gameplay is telling us in the persistent universe? You now are the ones who will write the script and create this history. We're talking that with exploration, right?
Right. Now, can I ask you a question before I jump out of here? Because we got to
You got it. Yes, sir.
Okay. You're talking about, okay, now you're talking about going from Squadron 22, you're doing a game and how that outcome in the game comes in affects the persistent universe, right?
Yes.
Now, you
Yes.
told me, if I remember correctly, Squadron 42, that's just one chapter that we're getting right now
Right.
of that.
That's
single player
correct.
game.
I think we're getting
So,
3 chapters.
will there be where, like you're saying, okay, that timeline from going from Squadron 42 into this persistent universe, then we're going, is there going to be things in the persistent universe that's going to affect the next chapters of Squadron 42 after that?
So
I'm
you're
just
saying that,
curious.
well, see, Squadron 42 is the past. It's the immediate
Okay.
past. So it's going to write to our present, which will become the new persistent universe post Squadron 42. So there's going to be some changes are coming, that when we look at the
Okay.
persistent universe the way we see it now, and then, you know, we play Squadron 42 and we eventually get through all the 3 of those chapters, it's going to be rewritten in a different way, to the extent that, who knows, man, but it's going to be different because you're going to remember those wars. You're going to remember the Battle of Odin where you did what you did, and it's going to resonate back there because you were in it. And it may not be the same, but you'll know why it changed.
Okay.
Squadron 42 will shape that out to make it what it will become in the present day. We're still in, like, right now, this is just us, you know, messing around with the game mechanics. But then when they drop Squadron 42, and then we get to chapter 1s, 2s, and then 3, the finality. Why are they saying, for example, why are they telling us that there's still going to be special op missions that will be given to people with a certain skill set or proficiency in Squadron 42 after it's over? Why is that? Why do we need to do that? That means that's military operations. That's battle. Why? If we come out victorious, right? We should be kicking back, and we should be every freaking bar we go to, we're getting toasted and getting wasted because we were victorious, man. Right? Why are we giving
We were
missions?
victorious in the war as a whole. We won the war, but that doesn't necessarily mean we won every battle. And
Okay.
there are a number of even going on right now. There are special operations missions that we know nothing about, and whether those guys on that mission are successful or not, we probably never will know. So I think those will be the kind of missions, the kind of sort of side shoot special
Yes.
operations missions that are, you know, so classified black box kind of missions that the general public never hears about them.
Yes.
But let me ask you this. This is something that an idea that's been floating around in my head for a while. All right, they've already let players influence the universe to, you know, to a particular degree. My main point being the elections. You know, player
Yes.
elections
Yes.
shows who the next imperator was, and that chose where the lore writers went with the story. Do you think that they will include bits like that in Squadron 42? Whereas, say, if there is a mission in Squadron 42 where you got to go join a squadron and battle the Vanduul for control of a certain system. What if they take the statistics from Squadron 42 and say a certain number of players complete that mission with a high, like gold star, gold medal type finish missions, and if a certain number of enough players get a gold medal on that mission, that system stays in the PU under UEE control. If players don't score high
I
enough,
love
that
it.
system in the PU
I
falls to the
freaking love
Vandal.
it. I freaking love it, dude.
And this is before a certain system is implemented, so they
Right.
decide by the by the outcome of the Squadron
Right.
42. They make it a sort of Squadron 42 event for say first 6 months, everybody go try and get a gold medal on this particular mission, and if you can't do it in that time, then this is going to be a Vanduul controlled system.
It's like that. Oh my
Yep.
God, J2, that is brilliant, dude. I love it, but it makes perfect sense because to the parallel with
Oh, God.
exploration, Pops, fist to
I'm
face.
sorry.
Thanks for
Yeah.
stopping in, guys. It's a pleasure always.
All right.
Thanks, man. Great talk. Great 07, guys. J2, I love it. I love that because
But Blackbird, you say they're doing 100. They say they're doing 100 systems. We're not gonna have all those 100 systems are not gonna be completed before Squadron 42 comes
right.
out. So they could use a Squadron 42 event to basically write the lore, for a system that where the lore hasn't been written yet.
Right.
You know.
I mean, we're already going to be a part of the lore. They already said as you explore and discover these new planets, and there's a flip of a coin. Do you exclaim that, hey, United Earth Empire, I found this planet. Boom, J2 found a planet. Or J2 says, oh man, there's too much quantanium right here, right now to say anything right now. I'm going to do some serious mining. And then all of a sudden, Admiral Kusanagi comes and say, hey, UEE, I found me a system. Put me in the lore. And J2's like, what just happened? Wait a
To be
minute,
honest,
I found that freaking planet.
Whoa, which would you rather see? A Kusanagi system or anything else? I think the Kusanagi system it would be ideal.
I mean, J2 is going to be rich all outdoors. Let me tell you, he's going to be rich.
Oh, he could be wealthy. He could have the most money in all the UEE, but
Oh,
J2
God.
system, Kusanagi system. I want to be like Nogs. Is it Nog? No, not Nog. Who's the guy at the bar on DS9? He has a cousin who owns a moon. Quark. Yeah,
Oh my
Quark has
God.
his cousin. He's always like complaining about him because he has his own moon. Just give me my own system. I'll be happy with that.
I love that though, with the fact that systems can be contested, or a certain number of systems can be contested
Hey,
in
Scuba.
regards to Squadron 42, and you have that percentage, like you say, J2, of how many people have completed or won that particular instance of that conflict. Like you said, J2, we can win the war, but we can lose battles. Those battles can take place on systems. And so it only makes sense or follows that narrative of that progression from chapter 1 to chapter 3, that it becomes a recorded log. Yes, we won the war, but then you go back and you say, oh, system lost, system saved. Oh, these 2 systems were lost. These 3 systems were saved. Perfect
What
sense.
chapter are we in?
Going across all
Like the
3.
star map. The star
Oh.
map. Like what does that represent in terms of the chapters of Squadron 42? Like
It-
you just looked at that system that was blacked out.
Right. I
Is
mean,
that supposed to be
well,
chapter 1 or is that
As far
chapter
as I
3?
remember,
or...
the star map is current with the PU. So
So
that would be roughly about
after.
yeah, that would be after chapter 3, or
So
probably right about what happened at the end of chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
right, because we're still. I mean, we didn't win the war. We're still. That's why Van Duel's space is dangerous, and there's
Yeah.
that we're gonna see
Yes.
king ships and stuff like that. So the war is ongoing.
I look
I
at it
think
as
the
purgatory. Right now, it's the system is in purgatory, and there's no judgment left or yet to come on the system as it is. But it's saying that yes, this is the layout, this is the basic geographic setting for the verse. But once, as you gentlemen mentioned, once we actually get through these 3 chapters, then there's a dynamic that will say or rewrite the new status based on those.
Right.
Yep.
After 3, and the PU goes active. That's when all these systems hit play.
Yes.
And that's
They're
when
live.
we can find new systems. We can find, because there are jump points. If you go to the Xeon
Yeah.
system right now, you go up to the Xeon area, and then put on the
ZION?
jump points for them. Just just go over to the green. Just go to the green systems in the top right of the map.
Okay. Top. Yes. Yes.
Just-
Okay. Yeah.
Just scroll over there. Just scroll over there. Scroll.
The final frontier.
You right there? Okay,
Yeah.
so on top. Now go to your jump points in the bottom right and click the small, medium, large.
Okay. Routes. Put them all on.
Don't do any routes. Just put on your show. Just show routes. Right
I'm
there.
looking.
Those 3 right there.
Display. Okay. I got to go to display.
Yeah,
Here
just
we go.
display all those
Jump
routes.
tunnels. There you go.
All of them. No, don't calculate anything. You just show the routes.
Yeah.
All right. Here, you can see they're all that the UE knows about, and that we don't know how to get to those systems. We know they
Yeah.
exist, but we don't know how to get to them.
Mm.
This is when that play button, and that's when Carracks really need to be out there, or whatever, to try to find a financial means to get out there, or like make it profitable, or whatever. They may not want us over there, to be honest with you.
I was
but who
going to say
knows?
that according to the lore, there's some places that are restricted and could be looked upon as acts of war based upon that. But I think there lies the key to opening that locked door is the actual language itself. For those who actually have that certain skill set, the language of the Xi'an, that door may be open to just them at that moment, and that gives them that opportunity to have the privilege of certain items to be traded, exotic alien items that we don't commonly get within the UEE. So I see that as a play into getting into that system as opposed
That's
to
crazy
just
that people are studying Xi'an. Like,
dude. It was a guy at CitizenCon. Literally, he was at CitizenCon. He had a booth. Scuba, you was there. He was writing your
was.
name. Scuba Steve was there. They even had him spotlighted on one of the videos about
Is
how
that the guy who's designing it, or is that just
no,
a fan, or like
no, he
a
was the
follower?
that was the linguist. He did
Oh,
work
okay,
on
yeah,
Star
yeah.
Trek. No, he was a fan. He was a community member, and he was so proficient. He was even talking with Sherry Heiberg, and they were going over the language as well. But this guy
Oh,
became
wow.
so proficient, and dude, I'm like, how do you do this, dude? How much cranium you got up there? What is going on? It was, dude. I was laid low. I was literally laid low. I was just looking at him like, what is going on? This is really a language. How is he making it
the
happen?
brain on this guy.
Dude, I gotta find the video, but he's out there. Star Citizen backer who speaks Xi'an, and he was then take it to another level. Oh, what's your name? He would write it out and then say, "Here's your cash. Thank you." He'd give him the piece of paper. He would spell their name in Xi'an, and I'm like, oh my god, who does this? What? Chris Roberts is probably saying, "You think I'm playing? You guys are playing checkers. I'm over here
He's
playing
the Daniel
chess."
Jackson of Star Citizen.
He's the what?
Right? Yeah. Well, that's the
Daniel
guy
Jackson
you
of
want.
Star Citizen.
That's the type of person you want, because they're supposed to, if you know their language, you're supposed to get more, like, it's supposed to benefit
Everything.
your org.
Yes.
Right. and the way they deal with you. So if he's like
Yep.
that good, they're like, hey, here's the top floor, whatever, wherever you want to go.
Klingon Dark Knight. Yeah, he's the Rosetta Stone guy. I mean, like,
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the point about how many people speak freaking Klingon.
yes.
I used to be
Oh,
I used to speak halfway decent Mandalorian. But
Yeah.
like you got to practice that shit. And like I remember about as much of it as I remember my 7th grade German classes.
But still, I mean, it's like,
But if I were to go
Wow.
back, it would come back pretty quickly. I
yeah,
think.
it's amazing though, and that's not the only language, because you have Shion, you have Banu, and who's the other? I mean,
You
Renelin
know what language Kimmy
12307.
speaks?
Say again.
You know what language Kimmy speaks? MLG. That's the language Kimmy speaks.
Oh my God, Scuba.
Can't.
What
I
up,
can't
fool?
What up, fool?
We speak
Ritalin?
like token dwarven,
I'm
Ritalin.
trying to figure out which. Yeah, Tavaran. You speak all those languages? Wait a minute. What?
Tavaran, that's it right there. Shion, Banu, and Tavaran.
Here's my language.
Three languages, man.
Biblioteca.
Dude, they paid that guy, the linguist, to come in to do that. They paid him to really put in that language and alphabet and everything. And I'm like,
Intense. If you can design a language, that is very intense.
it is intense, Steve.
that's how J.R.R. Tolkien got his start.
What?
The Hobbit,
Yeah.
Tolkien, J.R.R. Tolkien is a linguist, and he made up several languages of his own. The first one he made up was Elohim, he called it, which became the Elven language in his books. And he used the entire the Hobbit, the whole Lord of the Rings series, pretty much everything J.R.R. Tolkien wrote was written as a showcase for his languages that he created.
True story.
True
the
story.
End of the end. Oh no, I'm saying that movie was so moving. J2. I wanted to share this true story. I went to the theaters to see all three, but the end of the theater, the end of the movie, dude, I can't make this up. You had grown ass men sitting in the theater sobbing and trying to hold it back, and I had my buddy next to me, and I'm sitting there when the king said, "We don't bow, you don't bow to me, we bow to you," to the hobbits for what they did. Whew. Grown men
Yeah.
were sitting in there, and you could see the backs lean over, and my buddy was like, "Hey man, come on, let's go." And I'm like, "What's going on here? Come on, man, let's go." And I'm like,
You're a fool.
"Holy smokes." And I don't look over, and I'm like, and I'm choked up too, because it's like, whoa. and I, that kind of passion to these stories and things of that nature, man. I think they can reach that. They can kind of set the tone. I think when it's all said and done, when you see quality of work like that, J2, and to the extent of how things are pushed to that level, you don't want to rush none of this. I don't want it rushed, because I want to feel that again. Certain things that inspire you and you really feel that, you don't want that moment ruined by, just for the fact of, I want to see it because I want to see it, and then it's destroyed after that. But
I think Paula Abdul would probably say something against that.
Paul Abdul.
Rush.
No. No.
Oh God.
No. American Idol.
Oh my God.
I tell you what, I feel you, Kemi, and you want to hear another true story?
Yes, sir.
When I was like, probably maybe 6 or 7 years old, my mother took me to the movies to see the Muppets Take Manhattan, and the Muppets got all mixed up in a grand caper to steal the baseball diamond, and they got themselves all kidnapped, and they were all trapped. And then Miss Piggy jumps on a motorcycle jumps it from the building next door and through the giant glass window to come down on the bad guys and save all the Muppets. And when I saw this as a kid, I jumped up in the theater and screamed, "Miss Piggy to the rescue!" And that started a lifelong
Oh.
obsession with jumping up and cheering in movie theaters. I've done it thousands of times for a multitude of reasons. So yeah, man, I'm right there with you.
Yes.
We're gonna say con.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. And people, you know, after a movie, you hear them clapping. I'm like, whoa, this was good, man. But yeah, they have the potential with this project to, you know, along with these visuals, and, you know, they kind of want to grab you in those instances of loss and gains and struggles. And they want that to come across as an emotion that hits you, that you can relate to, and then it pulls you in even deeper into the game, not just playing the game, but feeling your way through the game. And that's the experience they want you to take from Squadron 42 and walk into the persistent universe with your ships, your crew members, your orgs. They want you to carry that emotion and that bond and that connectivity of what they gave you with Squadron 42. They want that to adhere to the persistent universe and how you do things. And that's why you kind of see the ramp up of what the Prospector started out as. It's, oh yeah, we can mine, and we're digging these rocks, we're hitting these rocks too. Now it's like, whoa, the mold, and now all these accoutrements or condiments that go to or fit to the Prospector and the mold. And now the subsumption of, oh wow, so you're saying this Orion is going to be a real big deal. I think we better pause and wait and see and let them do what they need to do, because this is getting real serious and real complex. And now you hear and you feel the pulse of what the backers are talking about as far as the Orion, and saying, hey, don't get on my freaking ship and be and screw up, man. This is not casual gaming. This is where the buck stops here. The rubber hits the road. This is where we're about doing this operation, and you have to have some kind of skill set prior to entering this realm of what we're doing. So yeah, it's coming together, man. It's coming together.
One squadron.
It's,
As a wing commander guy, I just want squadron.
yeah. And you know what? I used to say, we got a persistent universe. What's that all about? But going back to the lore, there's two components for me and why it's so important. That it goes to, it speaks to the lore and what these stories are all about, and that connection with what's going on with this persistent universe. How do we know what is what until we get a story, a baseline of what this game is about? Why is it we're going here, or why is that place there? So that lore is going to really acclimate you and connect you, and then it's going to be spoken through Squadron 42 about its past first. And then beyond that, when you talk about the real aspect, the business or the act of Squadron 42, how it was being created. And you really got to respect that in the beginning, Chris pitched Squadron 42 as a game, and those initial backers who put faith into him day one and said, Chris, I believe in this, so we're gonna walk with you on this Kickstarter program, and we're gonna back you on that, on Squadron 42, because we know about Wing Commander. We've seen that. We know what that was about. But if you're saying that, you know, you can bring that aspect to this game and modernize it, I'm all in. Whatever it takes, we're all in. And then it turns into the persistent universe. Well, from Chris' perspective, he's honoring that initial promise and that faith put in him in regards to Squadron 42. And
I think
yeah,
I just want to just go on what he was saying, like, you know, in regards to Squadron 42. Like, in my heart, like at the heart of it, like I am a no holes like RPG fan.
Yeah.
Like whether it be the original Knights of the Old Republic or Mass Effect,
yes,
the whole series there, and I kind of look at this Squadron 42 being a 3-chapter thing as the new Mass Effect in a different universe, different style, etc.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I'm really looking forward to as well.
Yes.
I spend way too much money on this game, the PU, in terms of like this is my second love, and if Squadron is my first love. So, but like the idea, like you know, the what's that stupid thing I bought? The Perseus. I mean, it's a crazy ship. It has like a really you need less people to man it. You know, it does have its flaws. It doesn't deal well with fighters, but you should have support, et cetera, whatever. But the idea is, yes, I want to do the PU, and I'm looking very much forward to the PU. But like the storyline, like I go back and play the KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, the MMO.
Yes.
Because of the storylines are so good, the replayability is so well done, and if Squadron 42 can come out and make it just so like I mean, God, the original KOTOR from like 04, I must have played the game like 20 times, and it was the same storyline. Maybe not 20 times, but seriously, it was the same storyline. So you go, you know, like the Old Republic, the MMO, this got 8 separate stories, and it's the same thing. So you can go in there and play it multiple times. You can go and play a male or a female, however you want to play it, different species and stuff like that, and romanticize different people and stuff like that. So this is all stuff we haven't even talked about in the Squadron 42. Can you romanticize, you know, individuals in this game? What is affection, you know, on a one-on-one, you know, thing, like the old man,
Mark
Skywalker.
Mark Hamill.
Can you like have different varying levels of talking with him? Does he get like more open about his battles in the past? If you have a good affection with him,
reputation
stuff
system
like that. So I mean, they haven't even touched base. They've talked about like affection for or group affection or whatever they want to call it. But they haven't said anything about what is the individual character. Can the individual character create like bonds with other individuals and get storylines based off of that? I think
the
that
interaction
is the
with them.
potential of Squadron 42 that hasn't been mentioned.
That's what you say is that's very intriguing, Admiral, to say that, to add to what you said, right? When they said they did the script, they talked about this game had as much, if not more, than an actual Hollywood movie script, right? And the fact that they're giving us snippets, and now they're at the point that they have so much of Squadron 42, they're saying, you're not getting in, and you're not, I don't care what you're saying, you're not going to spoil this. But to your point, with that script and how they've shown us with the characters and how they can interact with us, those sequences of things that will happen, and then they can be altered based upon your interactions and your success with these characters. And of course, you know, we know that it's an A-list, so it's going to be easy to interact. But now this is for the fact that Chris brought them on board, and the fact that it was not just saying, yeah, okay, you pay me, let's get this over with. They were intrigued to the extent of, what is this, man? This is crazy. What is this? So to lend to their craft, to interject what they're doing as far as wholeheartedly these actors, and I mean, these are A-level actors throughout. It's an A-list of people in this game, that they were also just as much intrigued with Squadron 42. That sure, I'm gonna make this. This is groundbreaking for them, and this is all around. They're gonna really make this experience exceptional. And the fact that Chris is smart enough to realize that this is so advantageous that he's making history, gameplay, game wise, movie wise, because they're actually literally they're a mesh of the two. And I call it an interactive movie. And to, have that opportunity and then he skips out on it, no way in hell he's going to take every advantage to make that
yeah,
interaction. Yes, sir.
He's look at the Cyberpunk. Like they already saw that great, cool game. Everyone was looking forward to it, and then just it went down the
Nope.
toilet so fast because
Nope.
it wasn't.
I can't even.
Because
Yeah.
they rushed it out. They rushed it out, and I still haven't played it because I've been waiting for
haven't.
just this to have people say it's smooth,
Yeah.
and I
have
want
not.
to.
It's okay. Like really, I played
Is it
it
now?
about- yeah, I played it, about a month ago, and
Yes.
it's fine. It's got a couple of bugs. It's got no Star Citizen, but if you play Star Citizen a lot, trust me, you can tolerate the bugs.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was a really good story, and the bugs were tolerable.
Yeah.
They weren't game breaking.
But it was.
I think CR wants it to be like zero bugs, and he's going to try it on different like platforms and different systems, and we're going to have like 3 different Intel systems running it, and we're going to have like AMD's over here, and it's just like what are our issues, what could
Oh,
potentially
yes.
screw us up,
Yeah.
and remind me, is Squadron supposed to be console or eventually?
No.
I wouldn't rule
right
that
now.
out. They say no right now, but as the landscape of consoles are changing, they're in no rush to make that exclamation. They have all the time in the world, and especially with that partnered with this new game company that specializes in console, they can ensure that process is really researching under R&D, that they're taking it and seeing what it can do right now if they have that access to say, okay, I'm going to carry it over to a port. So that could be active development for them right now without them having to say that it's coming out on console, but see where it is in regards to the PS5 and the new Xbox, right?
Now regarding that company, I in TOE, or however you want to pronounce it, like I
Gears of
think
War?
they could probably make a console game out of that.
Oh,
and just
easily.
and be able to grab people with using that game.
Yes.
They could just use like they only need like 10 maps or like 15 maps and make some crazy crap, and they have all the planets already made. They just have to say, hey,
Yes.
we're gonna take this
Endless.
planet. We're gonna make they have everything there.
An endless sandbox of different areas, terrains.
Like they already have
underwater.
Microtech made that can have a snowy environment, and they have already have everything that they can model a console game after
Yes.
in a similar manner like Battlefront. And then people are like, wow, this is cool. I would like to play this on a PC because it's more expansive there. So that is
Yeah.
not too far outside of the
I call it
realm of possibility.
software
think so.
licensing
If
light.
Okay.
Go ahead, J2. I'm sorry.
All
All
right.
right. I was just going to say, if you go back to the original teaser trailer for Star Citizen and Squadron 42, the one
Yes.
way back from
With
2012.
the asteroids, Vandal hiding behind the asteroids. Was that it?
Yes.
And the bingo, the
Yep.
green bingo.
Yep. But if you remember, in that trailer, there were a couple of scenes where it cut just a black screen and text. I am a space sim. I am a PC game.
Oh.
That stance right there, that was, Chris Roberts saying, look, I'm coming back and I'm bringing back PC space sim gaming with me. So I think in his heart, he's pretty, against going to taking Star Citizen and or Squadron 42 to consoles.
No, I'm
Strong
not
point.
saying that
don't
PU's in
see-
a good console.
Oh yeah, no, I'm agreeing with you. But what I was about to say is that the possibility for something like Theaters of War or Star
different.
Marine,
Yeah.
those I could see those getting ported to console,
It's
Right,
a
right.
module.
especially with
right?
these new generation consoles.
Yes, it's a module, but it's
Yeah.
not actually Star Citizen, the game, or the persistent universe. That would be no, that wouldn't be possible because of the hardware and all the tech that's on the back end, right, with the servers and all that stuff. But yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you in that sense that it's not per se a PC game. It's a module of the game itself. It's a sandbox. It's a captured sandbox that will allow you to interact in these different environments with a certain number of ships. Whereas Star Citizen, you're talking about hundreds of millions of kilometers of all this space and no cut screens, and you're going from, you actually have to live in the system first, right? Say again, J2.
So big. That's all I said. I was just commenting on the
Yeah,
size of the freaking verse. It's amazing.
it's mind-boggling, man.
And yeah, Ramar, the death of the PC game has been greatly exaggerated.
Yes, yes, he did. Yes, yep. And we went with it too, and that's where consoles were proliferating the living rooms and houses, because it was like, okay, no more space games, no need to buy a PC or configure one, right? It's like, no point. Why? And that was the main reason. I think that was the bread and butter for PC games. Freelancers, Star Lancer or Star, what is it? Star or something. But Aaron did the game. All these different space sim or space operas that was done. It was all PC based. X-Wing, TIE Fighter. So all of that was PC based. But yeah, it's when that went away, it's like no point. I don't have fun with the PC anymore. It's I'll search the web or go to a website. That's just basically what it was all about then. Yeah, you have some games here and there, and that's where FPS filled that void, right? It was all. Yep.
I think when we talk PCs, like you think about, I mean, they say every 5 years, like technology. We talked about this like a couple days ago. Like technology practically doubles every 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And if you thought like 2 years ago that what the 3090 could do, like if you even put those statistics on paper, you'd be like, oh, this is what your PC is gonna be able to do in like 2 years. You'd be like, go to hell, dude. There's no
Right.
freaking way.
And it will boil the egg with a glass of water.
Or like 5 years ago, if you said like, oh, you're gonna have like this M.2, SSD, and it's gonna be able to hold this much RAM, this much RAM and shit like that, you'd be like, no, not gonna happen.
Yep.
Maybe it'll have this, but it won't have that. That's kind of ridiculous. But
Yep.
it's just, but these technologies, these improvements in technology, especially when we talk to PC, because the console's like it's locked into a box, you can't upgrade it.
It's a business model. It's a way that
Right.
Investors can get their return, and it's
But like technology is like making Star Citizen easier to get to because it's actually trying to catch up. It's actually catching up on its
Yes.
own to what
Yes.
SIG is trying to do. Like for what SIG was trying to do, it's like today, it would have been impossible like 5-6 years ago with
Oh,
PC tech. It just would have been like, this is not going to work, and they'd be like, Vulcan wouldn't probably be in their mind right now.
Yep.
5 6 years ago.
Yep. And you make a
So-
great point. You make an excellent point, because back then that's what was pushing the hardware industry, was these space games on PC. Those requirements kept going up, and up, and there was the hardware to say, here, you want this, you need that, you need to run it faster. Oh, we got this. It used to be a software solution where it was just a memory issue, but then it went into the graphic cards. The processors started getting better. Everything around that PC game, it stepped up to the plate to accommodate your immersion into that world or that game. And now it seems that, like you said, excellent point again, Admiral. Star Citizen by itself is pushing the industry, right? Even though it's been a long time overdue that AMD stepped up, still it falls in line to Chris is like, no, I'm not going to bend the requirements. Then it's not my vision. This game, if you really want to really experience to its fullest extent, 60 frames, 40K, bam, done. That's Star Citizen for me from a technical standpoint. 40K, 60 frames. You get there, you got my vision of Star Citizen. Some people say, I don't care. Give me 14.4. It's still a beautiful damn game. Even 1080p is damn beautiful. But to run it fully, and then, they're stepping up to getting it where it can be optimized and say, okay, within this set standard for the PC requirements, we're going to meet you to this extent. But if you really want to come over here and do it, then it's going to take, like you mentioned, these 30 series cards or these 5900 cards and these multi-core type chips. Now, if you really want to come over to the verse and see what it's really about, we are welcome. You are welcome to come over. We are ready to accept you. But they still need that time to, but give us that moment when we drop in these back end features and this tech, and we break it and fix it and then get it to where it's supposed to be. Oh my gosh, you're not going to put this game down. Vicker says, no. CR sold us on a space sim. We all now know it wouldn't work on the tech CIG had 6 to 7 years ago. So true. And Renelin says, if I can get 30 frames at 1080, I'll be happy as a duck.
I was gonna say something, but then I read Vickers' text there, and I just whoop right over my head. I didn't know what I was gonna say. Like, oh no.
Man, but guys, I think we theoried the hell out of this one. You want to maybe do this again next week?
Aren't we we're halfway through, right? We had like 2 hours, 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, we went way over. But again, guys, you brought it. You guys brought it.
Yeah, what time is it now? It's midnight. I can go another 4 or 5 hours.
I'm gonna go play Star Wars right now.
Right? We want that.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I wanted to ask you. You said you played through the original KOTOR a bunch of times, right?
Yeah.
Out of all those times, how many times were you able to fuck over the chick on Tatooine with the freaking bone skull? Because I could never bring myself to do it.
You talking about Juhani, Cathar?
No, the widow in the I don't remember if she was in the tavern or the hunter's office. She came up to you. She's got some quest,
yeah.
and she's like, oh, my husband was a hunter, but he died. If you could go get me this bone skull, I'll be able to save my house and have a place to live for my daughter. And you go get the bone skull, and then you come back and you can rip her off.
Was a raid hunter or
a raid skull? That was it.
A raid, like WRAID, I think.
Yes. Yes, the raid.
I actually started playing that game again, and I just got to that point. Actually, I'm in the tavern there, in the raid hunting tavern. But then I got back into the MMO again. It's funny you say that because I actually escaped out of that because I was usually I think I've done it twice because I'm usually play bad in that game, which is funny, and then once or twice I've played good. But I just was like,
I'm the opposite. I always play light side, and I always want to play the dark side just to get like the dark side story. But I just can't, like that one mission only screws me up because I always just feel bad for that chick and I can't rip her off.
Have you not played the MMO?
SWTOR?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it for like 2 years straight.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, you get 8 stories, and you can play good or bad, and like, I don't know if you've played bad in that game at all, but you could play a bad Jedi, and those are the funniest conversations you ever have in your life because some of the conversations are.
But
hilarious.
You know what I found with the stories from SWTOR is that even playing as a dark side individual, they kept you in a lot of gray areas, so that like even though I was a dark side, playing as a dark side character, I never felt bad about the dark side things I was doing. That one quest in KOTOR, in the original KOTOR, with that freaking woman, like the dialogue is just like so freaking pathetic. Like I just feel so bad. I can't rip that woman off.
Well, good. I just posted something about. Let me find it. Where is it?
That passion you guys have. If Chris, I think he has the elements that's complementary to that passion that you have for that type of gameplay when you're talking about the homesteads, the reputation system. And with that reputation system and persistence, the NPCs adhere to who you are and what your characteristics are. What's stopping you? What's holding back your passion when they come to you about problems in your town, or your homestead in that town, about problems, and you having the skill set to help or to assist, and all of a sudden these NPCs in that particular area where you live, or your neighbors, your NPC neighbors, come to you to help you with favors, come to you in hours of need, comforting. I can see that parallel, that when you're talking about when it comes time for you to protect the system or the place where you live, and you as a group, number of you as our neighbors in that community, rally around these adverse conditions that will affect that community, as well as those NPCs who endear themselves to you. That passion can be met by the elements that they're building in game, that would pull you into that sense of, not only is it just these NPCs that you're talking about, but as you two started interacting about this game and sharing that passion. But imagine that in Star Citizen, where you're neighbors and then you're collaborating to assist and uphold your community and to keep it stable from bad elements and criminality. That even though, yeah, you're across the galaxy, but you're called upon by a SOS or a hotline to that community to say, hey, you got to get back here, J2 and Admiral. We're having issues only that you can solve. I would, if I was Chris, and I already have these elements in here, and knowing and seeing your passion of that, and having you collectively work together in that sense because of your passions like that, dude, I would so siphon the hell out of that and bring you into that world and really have you guys connect. Not just you, but a number of people and NPCs on that level. It's groundbreaking. The potential is there. I mean, it's not out of the realm of impossible, because your passions are there. Okay, I'm gonna shut up.
Sure.
But yeah, I would, man. It's incredible that you can, have that parallel in the game and have that shared passion. But then it integrates you mission wise and collectively to maintain your homesteads on that level of, from threats, from criminality, and then you're cheered and you're embraced for the good deeds that you do, as well as then, like you said, J2, you have problems of doing immoral things, and Admiral's like, hey, hey, it's the dark side. What do you think? And so then those NPCs react accordingly. So it pulls you in on both, again, to this testament of SIG and what they're trying to do. It adheres to both sides of that coin. You can be bad elements, bad apples in those communities, and they come to you for the Widow Connect. And, it allows you to have more criminality type missions come to you. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you look back and you're head of a syndicate in that community, and you're protected because you have to be protected by that community. So it opens the door to flip that narrative of whether you're compassionate, of good heart in that branch of RPG style gameplay, but then it branches the other way to the dark side in that community aspect. Oh my God, Star Wars Old Republic, nice. I think this is, you guys are onto something based on your passion and what
he's
Star
talking
Citizen
about-
offer you guys.
Absolutely.
He's talking about like being bad, and like he's like, you can be bad and then you don't feel like you're being evil at all. And that's like a great example of something I actually recorded. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go back and like record this conversation because it's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, you're not showing it there, but she's like, I like killing cultists. It's like
Ooh.
tidying up the galaxy.
You know
Like,
what?
yeah,
Some
sure,
of
I'll
the
just-
Yeah, exactly. Stuff like that. Cultists are
Just, like,
crazy bastards.
so
I didn't. Yes,
funny.
Yeah.
that was that whole mission in the Sith City
That one's
where
on
they with the
Hoth.
that one was on Hoth. I'm thinking
Look
there
at
were
the outfit.
cultists in
Come
the
on now. I
Sith.
got like a.
Weren't there cultists in the Sith City too? I forget the
There are Revenites that
the
reside
Revenites and
in
the other ones. There were like there was a statue being built and they had taken over the base of the statue.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
had to sneak in and like steal their freaking explosives and then blow them all up.
See,
Wow.
I could just feel the memories just pouring off of you.
Yep,
Like it's like missing an old teddy bear.
exactly.
Some of the best villains do not see themselves as villains.
That's what I'll think of myself when I become the governor. I'm like, we need a new highway, but sir, there are like 300 homes in that area. Like,
Talking
but
about
they
the
can get to
governor
work
from
faster.
season 2 or 3 of Walking Dead, because that guy was nuts.
Dude, I don't like that guy.
Is that
the
what's
whole
his
bat
name?
But he
scene.
didn't think he was the
I-
bad guy.
I
He was
left.
fucking bonkers crazy.
Yeah,
but
but
he
I
as
left
far as he
after
was
that.
concerned, he was the good guy.
Wow.
When they killed that guy with the bat, I was done. I haven't watched it since.
What's his name?
Oh, yeah,
Squadron
Glenn.
42.
The guy with the bat and the leather suit. I forget his name.
Negan.
Negan. Oh my god. In the comic, he doesn't die. He's basically a necessary evil.
They should turn him into a.
Yeah, in the
Cyborg.
comic, they capture him, they lock him up, they basically put him in jail, and then he escapes and comes
See,
back.
Ra Amar agrees with me.
What is
It
right?
was too like he was a knight. The character. I mean, I understand if the character
Oh.
wanted to move on, but
Yeah.
I mean, it could have. I don't know, about the flu or something like that. And
That's exactly, that scene was pretty damn close to what it was in the comic books. So I mean, except in the comic books, Glenn was the only one to get killed, and in the show, he killed like 2 other people there, didn't he? At least one.
they're probably like ramping it up to like, hey, FYI, you might want to turn your head.
I think people were
But,
frustrated
I
because
mean-
Negan didn't die. They was like, you gotta kill him
Well,
off, man.
Well, the guy who died, he was just so he was a likable character. You know, you're in this really
dark.
shitty, and this goes along with any story we're talking about, whether it be Star Wars or Star Citizen. Like you get a character that you really enjoy, and you're in this bad location, and you kind of want to see some resemblance of normality,
Right.
something that like people want to you strive for. Like you got through you're dealing with a zombie apocalypse. Like you want to have some type of normalcy
Yeah,
and not feel like you just want to jump off a
it's
bridge.
hopeless.
And-
Hopelessness.
You know, yeah, you have to be able to maintain your hope somehow. And I sort of go, but I will say that every person that followed Rick and his crew ended up dying. Whoever found Rick, they were gonna die.
Jeez.
Rick Grimes was like the worst thing. Oh, we're gonna go that way, and I would just be like, okay, well, I'm gonna go that way then, complete
I
opposite
know
of you
you, Rick.
guys, because you're about to die.
Your reputation system.
Oh my God, yeah, his reputation system sucked because
Oh,
everybody
man.
it got involved with him would die.
Oof.
So Kimmy, don't be a Rick Grimes in Star Citizen, and you'll have a lot of friends.
Yes. I will avoid that.
See, you got the chills there. I saw that. I don't want to hold you up though. I know it's getting late. I'm not sure if you had dinner yet. It's midnight.
Yeah, we really ran over, but it was a great conversation, guys. I guess we got to do it again. Saturday, I'll be here. I'll send out invites, and hopefully, we should by next week we can talk more of PTU for all and more stable, and them getting on track with 3.14. And we won't see another Inside Star Citizen until the 22nd, so it's another 11 days. Hopefully we'll get the cloud tech out there, and we'll see something kind of like that.
Wait a minute. You're already talking about the X patch. Like when do you expect the PU to go live?
I would say next week, but they really got to come with at least 2 to 3 patches that's going to be a great candidate for, well, not, well, live. Oh my God, that's a stretch. 2 weeks. I would say PTU for all in next week.
May, June. So like June, the end of June
Yeah.
is 3.14.
Yeah, I mean it's like right there. But you
313 was scheduled. 313 is now 11 days late.
yes, yep.
And we
So
need to get that
like,
to the
yeah,
PU.
they're gonna want to push
and
it
then we need to
live
get the
as fast as they
13X
can.
patch. So we need to get that one put live, and then we need the X patch. Well, they also can't push. I mean, yeah, it's true. They can't certainly push it to the PU if it's not ready, because then no one will play the PU. So,
Right. But I think the staggered development process is taking hold. I think that part of the team that staggered, they're already on 314. So they've already begun work. But then the back half of the team, they're stuck with what the P2 is right now. And then going forward to releasing those other ships. Other teams may be involved with the other vehicles being released. But still, yeah, you got a lot of patches to come. And it's concerning, but at the end of the day, it's gonna go the route of what was done with 3.0, 3.5, and so forth. But it's a constant grind, and I hope that these guys don't get burned out, because there's so much more that's coming down the pipeline. And then we're talking about bugs right now, imagine they're dropping in that back end tech. So I would take all this with a grain of salt until the end of the year, when they have everything basically in that's required to say that we've moved on to building the MMO part of the game. It doesn't magically, come on like a light switch, but
now what is that? Is that Vulcan, or is that the other thing?
it's all of it, Admiral. That's one of the components. The Gen 12 Vulcan will allow them to utilize more CPU cores as well. It's right there with DirectX 12, but it has more flexibility until they can really figure it out once it's in the live build of Star Citizen, and then they start utilizing and turning on switches, and then of course break things. So, like I said, I think we all have to come together as a community and give each other comfort and hold each other up, because we're in for it from now to the end of the year until they have all these assets and features. Like you said, Gen 12, you have the server meshing, you have iCache, you have these systems that they're going to start dropping in. You have
Are you going to CitizenCon?
I think that was canceled, Admiral. I think it's off of that website. That's the last I've heard. They had a placeholder.
They took it off the website?
Yes, sir. Yep. I think so. They took it off the site, and I think some of us say to that, they would say good, because they can focus more on the game. And the other thing is, well, it's still an alpha. We don't need to do this for an alpha. But again, here's the other part of that is this community is different, man. And I say that with the highest degree of a compliment. Is to celebrate you all. That's mainly the CitizenCon, is to celebrate you, to say thank you for backing, but also to bring you in to say we're there, we're getting there, and this is what we've been working on, and just come together and just have a break in that grind, and to reinvigorate ourselves and share those passions and get energized and get excited about going forward further into the development of the game. I think that's the whole sole purpose. And of course, it's a business, right? It's to generate hype, and then it helps with the business model, because at the end of the day, it is a business, but it's a business that we revere as one out of the whole bunch of what the gaming industry has become over the years. And it's detrimental to gamers. It's toxic to gamers, and we demand it, and we needed something else. And this is to celebrate that. Guys, thanks for coming together on this accord and believing that things can change. And look where we are. Hell yeah, look where we are. The best damn space sim ever, sir.
Are you doing the other Twitch stream tonight?
What other Twitch?
I mean Sunday night. Not Saturday
No,
night.
no, I kind of, because of my work loads and everything and my scheduling, I get up like god awful hours. You guys are, you see a lot of times you see me saying good morning to you. I've been up hours earlier, and I'm just saying good morning, and you guys are saying to me, "What the hell, man? What the hell? You up early?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm halfway through the day." So that dynamic has really just threw a wrench in what I wanted to do. So I say I want to stay connected to you guys because you're all amazing, but I can't do the Star Citizens anymore, Soul Citizen on that kind of grind
That's
like
fine.
that.
So maybe next week we'll have to do talk about the concierge stuff because I know they're going to talk about concierge tonight or tomorrow, whatever you want
Okay.
to call it, Sunday night. So I kind of want to see what they want to say, and then
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely think that's a topic that I think some of the backers are interested in. I kind of am because I think the concierge deal right now because I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think there's any benefit
Oh,
to getting
oh,
concierge.
that's a big one. Yes.
You know, there's accept the
yeah.
tickets, but right now they just hired
Yeah.
a lot of people to manage the tickets. But
Yeah, that's been a big deal. And I think for me, I have not, I guess I was lucky enough that I didn't run into a lot of things. I would come in and ask some things or it would get resolved like in hours or so, or next
it
day.
used to be really quick.
Yeah, it was
used to be
quick for
really
me.
fast.
I have yet to run into that, but obviously it's an issue because it's been stated that it's an issue, and it's
I think there's a Rolodex, and you're like on the top list of that Rolodex, and like
luck of the
you're
draw,
like, what's
my
that?
friend.
This thing just have paper and names on it. Yeah. This is from like 1992. It's got a
Thanks,
couple names
DK.
on it. Just keep flipping through, and that's when those names have to be done immediately. And I think you're in that Rolodex.
Right here, DK. You guys are all in my hearts, and this is why I still, to some extent, I can still connect with you all and share time with you, for sure. But yeah, man, it's great, man. This connection
You a
and
boy,
your
Kimmy.
passions. Oh my God. Well, guys, look, I'm gonna wrap it up, and
Yeah, we
again,
keep saying we've said
I
this like
know,
3
we
times,
keep
and then we
saying
just keep
this,
going.
man.
I'm just trying
I
to get
don't
Kim
know
to
why we
play
say
Star
goodbye.
Wars
I
with me.
say hello. Guys, thank you so much. So we're gonna do it again next week. We're gonna do it again next week, Saturday. Same bat time, same bat channel, 8 o'clock EST. If you guys are up and you want to see some Star Citizen gameplay, I think I'm looking at Carbon Tales. They're pretty cool. They are down with the PvP aspect of Star Citizen, but they're on it. They're really good with Star Citizen. So I'm gonna raid them and just say Kimmy sent you. And if you're still up, you Night Owls, just say hi and to another passionate backer of the game.
Okay, just to remind everybody that the first helicopter to fly in another planet happens on Sunday.
This Sunday,
Tomorrow, supposed to be tomorrow.
boom, booyah,
It's
on
today
Mars,
now.
right? Well, actually,
Yep.
it is today, technically.
I don't know what other planet you think we're on, but I think it's on Mars.
Well, hold up. We may be on Mars before it's said and done. The way Elon Musk has his way, the way it's going, yeah, we'll probably be there. But but Star Citizen is the closest thing right now, man. I'm telling you, it's the closest thing right now, guys.
It's all a fake.
Much love to you
Elon
guys.
built a fake movie studio underneath his launch pad. Holden Kubrick. He's like, man, we got to make it look like we landed on Mars, just like you made it look like we landed on the moon.
It's a conspiracy. He got the economy going. He had to do this. We had no choice at the time. Guys, love you. 07. Let's keep
Later.
it going, guys. 07.
Thanks,
I'm
guys.
Kimmy65. Guys, all the best to you. Love this community. Guys, thank you so much, man. You're awesome.
Anytime, dude.
That was a good time.
I'll be here, man, next Saturday. So I'm going to send out the invite. So if you can, that's great. If you're not, I understand. It's life. But thanks again, man.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
pressure
you
to
guys.
do this. You know, I know everybody's busy, so it seems to be a fun time.
And
And
yep, I got this opportunity to connect with you
Yep.
all and share these great ideas and just talk about what we, passionate about. And so it's there. So definitely, guys, thank you so much.
go get
So
some sleep.
yes, and we got to do some gameplay sometime too.
Yes.
Yay!
I'm
I
telling
guess I
you.
could do that too, as long as the
Yeah.
PU.
Yeah, we
And
figured.
of course, if you
Okay,
really want to do some gameplay, you can find me in Star Wars: The Old Republic.
okay. You know what? I'll make that a promise. I'll make that a promise.
Hey, it's
Um,
free on Steam.
Okay, we'll make that a promise. We'll do a couple of games and just say, hey, how could this mimic Star Citizen? How could you see this carry over into Star
Well,
Citizen?
if you want to, okay, you could do that too if you want. You could say, hey, go. How would you like this to be different in Squadron 42? How can we
Yep.
make this better?
Okay, that's a bet. I like it. And we'll do some gaming, guys. So
Well, it'll take
I'm in.
some notes.
Awesome.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Guys, good night to you all. You deserve it. Rest well,
Later
my
on.
friends. Oh,
Thanks for
seven.
just swinging in there, J2.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Love you.
Take it easy.
Oh, seven.